against you, nothing personal against your feelings and your religion. And I'm not saying you shouldn't believe. I'm just telling you that you can believe all you want to. God doesn't exist. And you don't really have any reason to believe. So, whatever reason it is that you think is good enough for you to believe, ask yourself why you need to. Why do you need to do something that you don't have to? Unless you're dependent upon that thing. That reflects on your personal life and your personal choices. Some of you have no choice. That's all you know, right? I get it. If you're raised into it, you've really never been exposed to the world. You only have one mind frame. You only have one mind lane. So be it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for those who are tapping the screen. The rest of you who are not tapping the screen, don't be a hater. You need a girlfriend. She seemed miserable. Hold up. I need a girlfriend. She seems miserable. Bro, work on your English. Come on, D. Brother Steve. Hey, man, too bad I cannot run for president of the United States, but who knows what the future will bring. Work on your English, bro. He says you need a girlfriend. She seems so miserable. Hey, if I'm miserable, so be it. You seem so miserable coming up here and trying to express yourself, and you can't even do it. Hey. Yeah, I need a girlfriend. For sure I do. Yeah, right. Hey, yeah, right. If you come up, go straight to the point, right? Because I'm really managing my time. You have a girlfriend. What are you doing on TikTok? If you had a girlfriend, what you doing here, man? Oh, boy. You don't need a girlfriend if you got many. You understand? That's kind of how it works, bro.
Bakanga.
What's up, bro? You coming in disagreement or agreement, bro? Because if you're not coming in disagreement, brother, you have to be quick and brief.
Okay, my brother, I will be brief. At this point, I'm just going to say some few things. If Jesus really died for us, like they said, how in the world would he curse people out? How in the world would he curse people that are unborn people, people that are not even been born? If he died for our sins, why exactly are we still suffering to survive for the same sins he died for?
Of course, you're asking a very ancient question. In fact, that question is as ancient as the fake religions and all the religions of the world. The reason why people suffer in the world is because suffering is an essential part of life. Suffering is natural. Without suffering, there's no life, right? That's why I kind of feel sorry for people who want to go to heaven. What are you going to do in heaven if there's no work to do? You realize that we have work to do because there is suffering. So it's an irrational thought, my brother. And of course, if you're a deconstructed religious person or deconstructed person who has deconstructed from religion, and you've reconstructed your mind within a logical and rational mind frame, you understand the ridiculousness of it. That is a question that really needs no answer because, like you said, in a world where supposedly someone has paid for our sins, and yet the sins are still affecting how we live our lives, either someone did not pay for our sins or the whole story is bullshit. There's really not much argument for. You know what I'm saying? There's really not much argument. Ladies and gentlemen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Thank you, bro. I always
Yo,
like your response. All right, I'll go down for the next person.
thank you,
One
my
love,
brother.
bro. I
One love,
salute you
brother.
from Cameroon.
For sure. Look, Cameroon.
Oui, bro.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tapping the screen. Chris, what happens after death? Nothing happens after death, bro. That's what death means. All happenings cease. How many times do I need to repeat myself before you understand the simple truth? Now, I understand some of you guys are scared to die, but you don't have to worry about dying because it's going to happen and nothing is going to happen after it. Yes, death is going to happen to you. You can believe what you want to believe how you want to believe. You can conjure up any image you want to conjure up in your mind. Death will still occur in your life, and you will cease to be. It will almost be as though you were never born. That's the best way to understand that nothing happens after you die. It's almost as though you were never born, you were never conceived, your parents were never born. That's what death is like. The only indication that you were here at some point will be the memories and the way you affected the world. But even those things would soon be forgotten. Make peace with that, and you would find that you can make more out of life. Those of you who are living your life imagining that there is something you're going to do after death, you're just miserable and you're depressed. You have been overcome by the anxiety of life. Period. Would the first person have a belly button? Well, all I know is that if you don't have a belly button, you're not a human being. If you don't have a belly button, you're not a human being. You're a toy. Somebody made you in the factory. You're a mannequin. You understand? That's just a fact. If you don't have a belly button, you're not a human being. And if there was a first person, that person must have grown up from a tree, right? Because they will still need a belly button. And check this out, y'all. Let's be very rational about this, right? Like, there was no first person per se. And if there was, it's really not a mystery. You understand? It's really not a mystery. Even if human beings were made, even if human beings were genetically engineered, it was not by a God. Now, I don't like to go there with religious people because they're really delusional. Every gap in their head, they're just filling in with God did it. It was God, right? So I don't like to play that game with them. But yes, even if human beings are genetically engineered, which is realistic, very realistic, right? It's possible that human beings were artificially evolved. Somebody meddled with these genes here and there, possibly even taking it from the apes and genetically engineering human beings. Even if that happens, it is not the work of a God. You're not talking about gods here. That's not how it really works. And if some of you were to observe the world properly, you will realize that there are no gods here. There's no godly work happening here. Just because something surpasses your understanding, and just because you don't know how something happens, doesn't necessarily mean that that's not what happened. Because you guys like to assume that it was an almighty God that made this whole place because you don't understand the world. I often use this example, right? And I'll do you the favor of saying it again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to everyone who's tapping the screen. The algorithm is going to be slow because I haven't come up the whole of this week. Imagine that you wake up in a cave, in a place where you've never been before. And you step out of that cave and you see something you've never seen before. And this thing you've never seen before is like a bunch of buildings, a bunch of flying objects, a bunch of creatures just walking around, a bunch of signs on the road, a bunch of moving objects, right? Your first assumption is not going to be like, wow, look at this magnificent thing that was made by a magnificent almighty being, the creator of the universe. No. Just because something is well designed and complex doesn't mean that it is the work of a supreme being. You don't come out of a cave and see a city and assume that it was built by one person. You don't come out of your mother's stomach and see a world and assume that it was made by one person or by one thing. That is a very narrow-minded way of thinking. You get what I'm saying? Thank you, Tammy. Always love from you, and kindness, and goodness, and faithfulness. Ladies and gentlemen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. 11.1 thousand likes. This is probably the fastest we ever got to 11,000. That's good. That's crazy, right? That means that you guys tap your finger, your combined finger movement was 11,000 times. That's what 11,000 like means. Sometimes it baffles my mind, right? The things human beings can do. Just the fact that you can hit like 11,000 times on TikTok in less than 10 minutes. Can your God do that? Of course your God can do that. My question tonight remains the same that I've been asking for the last 2 weeks. And unfortunately, there has not yet been born a religious person smart or intelligent enough or patient enough to answer the questions, why should human beings believe in God? That's a real question. That question should make you question your entire belief system if you're a religiously indoctrinated person. Because I tell you this, all the good reasons why you believe in God, you can still do all those things without believing in God. You want to be a good person? Okay, be a good person. You don't need God to be that. You want to be moral? You want to be righteous? You want to be holy? You can do all of that without a God existing. Somewhere within your mind box, you've boxed the idea of progression, human ingenuity with the existence of some supreme being. That's nonsensical. It's quite literally nonsensical. You understand? It's very narrow-minded. If you don't have money, you're broke. Maybe that's why you believe in God. So maybe you're saying that broke people should believe in God. Human beings should believe in God because there is a God. If that's the reason why you believe in God, you might as well go believe in Donald Trump because there is a Donald Trump. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You believe in Superman because there is Superman? Your reason why you believe in something is because that thing is there, and yet you can't point us in any direction where it is? Because if I say, okay, where? Where? God does not exist, ladies and gentlemen. God is a figment of human imagination. If you disagree with my statement, feel free to come up and let me educate you. If your God cannot exist in this environment, that means that your God is an imaginary being that you made in your head. Stop using the excuse that God has a reason not to come here. If your God cannot come into this world and express himself and expose himself and present himself, your God does not exist, period. There's no reason why you're a God and you can't come to earth. Come on, man. Come on. There's no reason why your God is a God and then for some reason he keeps playing hide and seek. What's your God, a 5-year-old? Why is your God addicted to playing hide and seek? It's ridiculous. I've read the Holy Bible. It's a bunch of fairy tales, Julie. And the fact that you're calling a book that human beings wrote holy, there's nothing that makes the Bible holy. There's nothing in particular that makes the Bible any more holy than any other book written by any other person. The moment you idolize the Bible, no doubt, you're so magnetized to that information, so mentally that you're blind to the rest of the information in the world. The moment you use the word holy to describe a book, you don't need to use an adjective to describe a book. A book is a book, regardless of who wrote the book. A book is a book. The Bible doesn't need to be a holy Bible. Are you trying to call it a holy Bible because you're trying to convince yourself that it's holy? Listen, I can assure you, okay, 99% of the religious people that come up here don't even know what the word holy means. God is ruling your imagination, Antonio Lorenzo. Good for you. Congratulations. You have a very great imagination. We'll clap for you. Good job. Not only is God not real, not only is God an imaginary character, not only is there no reason why we should believe in God, the reality is that no one really believes. So all the people who say they believe in God don't really believe. And I can prove to you that you don't believe, no matter who you are. Saying that you believe in something does not mean that you do. And you cannot walk down the street and look at a person and say, you believe, you don't believe. Believing is not something you can really do. Believe is not something practical. That's the illusion of the word believe, right? Believe is not an action word. It's more of an adjective masquerading. It's not even an adjective, you know. It's a figure of speech. Believe is a figure of speech. It literally is a figure of speech. It's not a practical word. Like you cannot even believe even if you want to. Because you religious people, if you stop doing all those religious things that you do, then there will be no difference between you and the next person. You think that going to church, reading the Bible, owning religious paraphernalia makes you a believer? That's not what makes you a believer. Believe is a very, very shallow-minded word. It's sad, but nobody really believes. Practically, nobody really believes. And they can say it 100 times. It doesn't mean that they really do. Belief is not something that you can just see someone and say, oh, you believe this. No, it's something we use when we talk, a figure of speech, right? So if your belief is not backed by an action word, then if it's not independently observable through other action words, then you're just What happened here? Uh, if there is any religious person that can come and tell me why we should believe in God, come and tell me why. If not, I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. And if your reason why you believe in God is because you're scared to go to hell, you are in the right place, because I will set you free from your thanatophobia. What is an opinion? Do you even know what an opinion is? What's an opinion? I have found out that people who participate in Abrahamic religions don't know how to speak language, especially whatever language it is that they're expressing themselves. It's actually it's very real. If you begin to talk to an Abrahamic religious person, you will soon realize that you guys are not even speaking the same language. Because the meaning and the definitions that they ascribe to words is as inconsistent as their Bible reading skills. They think that the dictionary is like that English is like the Bible, that you can just flip any page and get inspired from it. No. Thank you for tapping the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep on tapping the screen. Brother Chris, Brother Steve, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. The dictionary is not like the Bible. And if you're the type of person who reads the Bible simply by flipping pages, like you flip a random page and then you get from it what you want to get, you are addicted to a drug. That is a drug-like behavior. Because in the English language, that is not how you participate in reading. That's not the proper application of reading comprehension. There is an order to which you must read a document in order to understand that document. It's not a newspaper. The Bible is not a newspaper. If the Bible was a newspaper, you know what I'm saying? You can just flip it anywhere. But it's not a newspaper. It's supposed to be a book that gives you specific information, right? So you should start from Genesis. And without skipping a page, a verb, or a full stop, you read it all the way to the end. Not only do you guys just flip pages left and right in confusion, 99% of you religious people listening to me right now have never read the entire Quran or the entire Bible, your own book. If that is not enough to convince you that you don't even believe in God, listen, if you say you believe in God and you've never read the whole Bible, you're just a pretender. You're really not a believer. You're more of a pretender. Yeah. So it's people, religious folks are not believers. Stop saying that I believe in God. Say I pretend like there's God. If you were to say I just pretend like there's a God, then we will really have no quarrel with you. Convincing yourself that you believe in something that you know you don't really believe in because you don't even know how to believe is sad and pathetic, my friends. It's sad. And I'm here to set you free. I'm here to teach you how to think. I'm here to teach you how to organize your thought and how to live in the real world without the basic anxieties of the miscomprehension of basic principles in life. The Bible is not a holy book. In fact, if you wanted to describe the Bible in terms of adjective, it's actually a perverted book. And you wouldn't know that, right? Because you flip and you twist and flip pages. You just flip pages from left and right. You don't really read it. Because as soon as someone points out something to you, oh, that's the New Testament, that's the Old Testament. It's the same book. I'm pretty sure it's the same book. 100%, it's a mythological book. It's not a book that you can read to learn how. You cannot read the Bible and then know how to live in this world. Impossible. That's why people who claim that that's what they do, you will always find so many inconsistencies in their life. And they don't have peace of mind. There is so much peace in understanding these two things I'm about to tell you, okay? This is how you're going to have peace. In this life, you can only do what you can do. And once you die, that's it. In this life, you can only do what you can do. And once you die, that's it. Death is the equalizer. Death is what teaches you how useless life is. Whatever you are accumulating would not extend your breath any longer than it's supposed to go. And once that breath is out, the mechanism that makes you ceases to exist. like I was saying earlier on in the program, it's as though you were never born. Having that basic understanding, that is where you will get your purpose from. That is where you will find meaning from. And even that purpose and that meaning are only temporary, illusionary ideas that allow you to go from moment to moment until your time comes to kiss the ground. If you don't know how to live life in the moment, if you don't know how to live life in the moment, you will keep living your life looking towards a future that will never happen while running away from a past that is already gone. That's exactly what it means to believe in God, to be religious, especially with the Abrahamic religion. The Eastern religions are not so much pointing towards that way. The Eastern religions are more manageable, right? So Hinduism and Buddhism are more manageable, fundamentally more realistic. You can cope with those religions better. That is why you notice that Hinduism and Buddhism cannot be used as tools of imperialism. Hinduism and Buddhism cannot be used as tools of imperialism. Meanwhile, Islam and Christianity are literally imperial tools. That is why they singularize the idea of God. They singularize the idea of deification, right? There must be one God. So that way you can answer to one king. So one person can control everybody. That is how Hinduism and Christianity are designed. That's how Islam and Christianity are designed. Meanwhile, Hinduism, there's a certain freedom of expression, right? One Hindu can tolerate the fact that the other Hindu has a different God, but they'll still be Hindus. So they can work more together in the long term. They don't need to really fight, even if they disagree. But just take a look at the Muslim world. When two Muslims disagree, it always nearly ends up in bloodshed. When two Christians disagree, they might go the next 40 years without talking to each other. That's why at the side of every street, you have a different church. You see, we often make these mistakes of putting all Christians in the same category. No.
Yeah, no, all Christians are in the same category, followers of Christ. That's one
That's
category they all
that's
fit in.
that's a
You
lie.
can't disprove that. Okay, go
That,
ahead. Tell me why
that's a
that's a
lie.
lie.
What
How is that a
Christ,
lie?
one Christian, okay, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a Trinity and a oneness God?
Nothing.
There's no difference between the Trinity and
There's no difference. Nope.
So how about those who say that the Godhead is not a Trinity?
No difference. They believe in one true God. Even Trinitarians believe in the one true God.
Okay,
So
but
there's no difference.
do you understand the idea of a contradiction?
That's not okay. Explain the contradiction. That's a
If
fallacy.
if your God is not a Trinity and then somebody else's God is a Trinity, that's not the same God. Even if you use the same language, that's just basic common sense. If you
The Trinity.
there are
Okay.
many
Okay, go
divisive
ahead.
principles. Yeah. Let me go ahead. Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
listen. Yeah.
Yeah. If I tell you that this water bottle is really 3 water bottles, and then somebody else says that this water bottle is just 1 water bottle, you're not talking about the same thing. Period.
Do you have a triune water bottle?
That's impossible.
Okay, perfect. Look, so I'm glad you agree with that. So look, if there is a triune water bottle, right, and you pull out one and you have one water bottle too, it's still the same water bottle, right? So when you look at the Trinity and divinity, they are all one, right? In personhood, they are three. So the Trinity is just a more in-depth view of the Unitarian view.
If there are 3 in personhoods, that makes 3 gods.
Explain how.
Because every person is their own person, and a person is what makes someone, right? You're a person, I'm a person. That's why we are 2 different individuals, even if in our humanity we are one, because you and I, we are one in our
No, but
humanity.
you're saying there's different types of humanity. You're saying in humanity, me and you are different.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
if
So you're
if
saying
if if if,
humanity.
if you're a Trinity, our nature is human. Me and you, we have the same nature, we're human, but we're still 2 different people. The word people comes from the word persons. So if you have 3 persons with the same nature, that means that they are the same species, but they are 3 different people.
I'll literally disprove that right now.
So the Trinitarian people are actually worshiping 3 gods.
Okay, look, is your soul you?
I don't have a soul.
Okay, are your thoughts you?
My thoughts are a part of my body.
Are That's not what I asked. Are they you or no?
No.
So your thoughts are not you.
No, bro,
So
I'm more
whose thoughts
than
are whose thoughts are they if they're not yours?
the thoughts. It's like you asking, is your finger you? No, my finger is not me. That's not what makes me me. It's
My
not my
finger is
thoughts.
me. How's my
No,
finger not me? How is
because
it not me?
your finger is like a brick on the house, right? The brick is not the house. It's like you asking, is the brick the house? No, the brick is not the house. The brick is one small element that is part of the house. If you take the brick away, you still have the house.
Okay, but you're trying to literally make parts of the human body, right? If you look at the human body, there's only one human body, right? I don't see like different parts. You just label different parts of your body different things,
Bro,
but
an
they are just
embodiment,
one
an
you.
embodiment means a combination of multiple parts.
So you're telling me all your parts came together like Megatron?
It doesn't
You were
matter
born like
how there
Megatron?
is a method. There is
They
a
had to
method.
piece you together?
Yeah,
They
of
had to
course.
piece you
Of
together?
course, of course. My body parts are pieced together. Yes. But
So
the, the, the
when you came out the womb, did the doctors have to put your arms and like your legs where
no, it's
they
put together.
belong?
It's put together
Did they
naturally.
not come out?
It's put
Oh,
together
so
naturally.
okay. So you came out the womb naturally as one human person, right? Not a
As
leg, not an arm, one human
as
person.
a singular as a combination of parts that make a singular embodiment. Yes.
So I'm glad you agree that you came out the womb as one person, one full person, right?
One embodiment. Yes. One body.
Okay, so again, I ask you, are your hands you or
No.
no?
No.
They're not you. So they don't
No.
belong to you.
No, they're part of my body. It doesn't,
So they
bro.
don't belong to you?
If something belongs to me, it doesn't make it me. My car belongs to me, but my car is not me. My shoes belong
So
to me,
what?
but my shoes
Okay,
is not me.
perfect. What is you then?
Me is a combination of everything that makes my body, my personality, my character, my behavior, and those things are facilitated by the tools that make my body up, right? So I am not me without in my the entirety of my body, or at least the essential, the
Okay, so
minimum,
how are you different from me?
the minimum
How are you
equipment list
different from me?
in
How are you
behavior,
different from me?
in behavior and character, and then the genetic code that makes
So
my
you're
body.
telling me, oh, genetic code, that's how you're different from me, right?
Yes, because at the genetic level, the code takes different
Okay, so do
sequences.
you have a different human nature than me
No,
since your genetic code is different than mine?
no, I don't have a different human
Oh,
nature than
okay,
you.
so you have the same nature as me, right?
Yes, the differences in our natures is not significant enough to separate us to that manner. So our nature, we have 99% in commonality, right? And the differences that is bring in place by our circumstances, where we are born and how we are born, doesn't really change our nature that much. But fundamentally, we have the same nature. We have the same tendencies. You have to understand the word nature. Nature is like how you are without the influence of any intentional influence, right? Without
Okay,
changes
so
put upon
what
you.
would the difference between you and me be if there was no if both me and you just came out the womb,
We'll be clones.
what would be the
We will
difference
literally
between
be
me and you?
clones. We will literally be clones. Like the difference between
We'll
this phone.
literally be clones, right?
Yes,
We'll be
like
the same.
if I take two
So
iPhone
are we the
15s,
same person? So are we the same person?
no,
But we're clones.
we will be clones if we were not if we didn't have different
But are we the
personalities.
same person? So okay, so we're
No,
clones of each other. We're identical. Oh, but we're not. Okay, so what?
we
So there's
would be
distinctions, right? There's distinctions in our personhood, right?
we would be
We won't be the
clones.
same person.
We would be clones if our circumstances and our upbringings was not different. So
Okay,
if
yeah,
you
that's what I'm trying to explain to you, that we would be identical, but yet we would be distinct. In our human nature, we would be identical, but in our personhood, we would be distinct.
we will
Like you
not be
said,
distinct. We
the
will not
only
be
reason me and you are different,
we will not be
other than
distinct
genetic
if we
code,
have the
is
same
life
upbringing.
experience.
If we have the exact same experiences, we will not be distinct. It's like a phone, like I said, bro. Like what makes your phone different from my phone is literally what you do with it, right? But the phone in of itself is the exact same phone. The phones have the same nature, the same code, the same design, right? That's what we are as human beings. So you're born in America, I'm born in Africa, and though we have different, we have the same nature, but we have this different upbringings that allow us to develop unique things about ourselves.
Okay, that's basically my point, brother. If there was no difference in our human experience, we would be the same person. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Sure.
But there would be no distinction in our human nature. We would act the same. We would basically be one person, right? We would be the same person. We do the same things. There'd be no difference between me and you. The distinction is in our personhood, and that's through our life experience, right? That's the Trinity, bro.
Again, that still makes three gods. I don't know why
No, it
you.
doesn't.
Yes, it does, because God is a title. God is not a person. God is not a thing, right? So it is a title. The word God is a
Okay,
title.
Jesus Christ is the name of God. If you want the name, that's the name.
But that's still a different person from the Father, right?
Yeah, in personhood, they're
So
different.
if you go to heaven, you're gonna observe two people, right? You're gonna see Jesus, then you're
The
gonna see the Father,
personhood is
right?
not what makes him God, though. I mean, the personhood is not what makes him
Relax,
God.
relax, bro. Relax.
I'm relaxed.
So if you go to heaven, you're gonna see Jesus, then you're gonna turn to the left, and you're gonna see God, right? You're gonna see the Father, right?
You can't see the Father.
Bro, if you go to heaven, hypothetically, let's say you could see the Father. Let's take away that whole you can't see the Father thing. Let's say if you go to heaven and
That'd be a
God,
fallacy, bro.
it's not a
You can't
fallacy.
do that.
It's not a fallacy because your Bible says that when you go to heaven, you will see God as He is. So let's not even play that bullshit. Let's say once you get to heaven, you're gonna see Jesus, and then you're gonna see His Father, right?
Okay.
That's what the Bible says. When you go to heaven, you're gonna see God as He is.
Is the Father abstract?
Bro, just relax. When you go to heaven, you're gonna
I'm
see
relaxed, bro.
you're gonna see
I'm trying to
Jesus.
explain to you, though. You
No,
can't see
answer,
the Father.
answer my question. Answer my question. When you go to heaven, you're gonna see Jesus, and then because the Bible says He's ascended to heaven and He's sitting at the right hand of the Father, right? That means exactly what it means, right? Like He said, whoever
No, your
overcomes.
interpretation of that is wrong.
It's not interpretation, bro. I can give you an innumerable amount of verses, right? Because when He was on earth, He was praying to somebody up in heaven. He said, Father.
The Father.
Yeah,
That's the unseen God.
Was He praying to Himself?
It's praying is just communication
Bro,
through the Godhead.
when Jesus was on the earth, was He praying to Himself?
He was praying to a different person.
Okay, He was praying to somebody else who was
You
somewhere
can't
else.
see that person, though.
It don't matter if we can see the person or not. Let's not play that game.
Okay.
Bro, He was praying to somebody else, right?
Yeah, he was praying to a different person.
That's enough distinction to establish two people. So it doesn't matter if they have the same rank in the existence of in the creation of the universe, right? Even if they have
that's actually a fallacy. People is a plural. It's not singular.
Exactly. So the Trinity is three different people.
It's three different persons, not people.
Bro, three different people.
People is a different word from persons.
But the root word
person
for
is singular.
The root word for people is person. Three different persons, plural, not three different person. You didn't say to me
persons.
Plural, right?
Yeah.
Three gods.
People,
three gods.
But people is plural.
Yes, and persons is also plural. Synonyms.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
Synonyms.
still not three gods, though.
Listen.
It's one God in divinity.
Same title, same rank, but three different people. I get it. Because the word God is a title. The word God is a title.
Because look, what makes them God, though? If you truly get it, what makes them God?
Their rank and their title. They have the same rank.
Their title. Okay.
Yes. Do you know what rank is? Do you know what rank is?
Yeah, I know what rank is.
Your rank is your position of authority.
Yes.
Okay, good. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit have the same authority, the same rank, right? So they're not above each other. There's no boss among them.
No, the Father holds more authority than the Son.
Okay, then they don't have the same rank. If somebody has authority over you, then you don't have the same rank. Then Jesus is not God.
Explain.
If Jesus has somebody above him, he's not God. He's not the Almighty. Because mighty means power.
Yeah, there's only one Almighty God.
Who's that?
That would be Jesus.
Is the Father the Almighty?
Name, right? God is the title.
Is the Father the Almighty?
Yes, is the Father the Almighty God? I mean, you can't separate them. They're all fully God.
You know what, bro?
Separating them would be a fallacy.
You know what, bro? It's always so sad that I have to go into your own book to educate people like you who unfortunately don't even know their own book, right? So let me read to you from Revelation chapter 19. Let me read to you about this Jesus you keep talking about like it's the same person. Revelation
No, it's a different person.
19. It's a different complete entity from the Father. So you have three gods. And the Christian who says that, there are some Christians who say that it's not even three persons. That is the same person.
That's not what I'm saying though.
But there are some Christians who say that it's not three persons, it's the same person. They are called oneness Christians. That's why I was
Okay.
telling you. You guys are confused because you think you're the same, but you're not the same. We're not
We are
gullible.
the
We're not
same.
foolish. We're not foolish. The Jesus Christ of the Trinity is not the same Jesus Christ of the oneness people. It's not.
So the oneness just look only at the divinity, right? They only look
No.
at the divine
The
nature.
divinity, the nature, the persons is the same person. They're telling you is the same person. People who believe that there is no Trinity, those who don't believe in the Trinity, believe that there is only one God, one person.
There
That is
is
God.
only one God.
One
There is
person.
only one God.
Not if you have three
There's
persons.
three persons.
Not if you have this. If you have three persons with the same title. Yes, there's only one title, but that title is given to three people. So that makes, by number of persons, there's three gods having the same title. There's only one title of president, right? But how many presidents are in the world? If the president of Russia
Okay,
and the
so
president,
you
hold on,
said
hold on,
God is a title, right?
hold on,
You said God is a
check this
title.
out, check this out. If the president of Russia and the president of the United States were in the room, and the president of China were in the room, you have three presidents, right? One president. You have one title,
Amen.
three
You just said
persons.
there's one president.
No, I'll show you. I
There's
mean,
only one position
I'm
of
talking
being
about.
president, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have one title, president, and three persons, but it's a three different people that have the same title of president. That's what it means. So when you say your God is a Trinity, you are worshiping three gods, my friend. You just don't know how to do math.
It would be 1 times 1 times 1. That would equal 1.
There's no such thing as 1 times 1 times 1. Now you're inventing your own math, bro. What principle of mathematics is that?
You just said multiplication doesn't exist. That's crazy.
I just said to you, you don't do 1 times this times that. That's not a principle.
Why not?
I can do 2 times 2 times 2.
But it's not 2 times 2 times 2, right?
What's
It's the Father times the Son times the
what
Holy
is the
Spirit.
purpose of what's the purpose of multiplying 1? Bro, let me tell you, 1 times 1 times 1 is really just
Because
1
they're
times 1.
identical.
Listen.
Because they're identical in divinity.
1 times 1 times 1 is another way of just saying 1.
Oh, so you agree 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1, right?
Yes. But the Trinity
Okay,
is
so
not
wait,
is not a multiplication. It's an addition.
Wait. So look at this. You say 1 times 1 equals 1, right? So how many ones am I multiplying? 2
1.
ones, right?
1.
Okay. Okay, so can you give me the equation real quick?
1 times 1
Okay,
equals
for
1.
every time you say 1, can you put up a finger?
Yes.
Go ahead.
1 time equals 1.
It's got to be different fingers though.
No, it doesn't have to be. It's not addition. Use your brain. That's not how multiplication works.
So you're saying
One bottle. No, bro, listen. Let me show you. Bro, unfortunately, like I say, you don't know how to do math. 1 bottle, 1 time equals to 1 bottle. 1 bottle plus another bottle equals to 2 bottles. 2 bottles minus 1 bottle equals to 1 bottle. But 1 times 1 equals 1. That's how you
okay,
multiply.
so why are you adding instead of multiplying then?
Because you don't multiply when you're counting. When you're counting quantities, right? You only multiply expressions, not quantification.
Okay, so perfect. God
for
is an
ex-
expression. God is an expression then.
Where does it say that God is an expression?
God is abstract because you can't see the
Where
Father.
where does it say that God is
You
abstract?
can't see the Father.
Where
Well,
does
I
it
can tell you
where
the
did you get that God is abstract?
verse. Because you can't see the Father.
That's not what it says.
Yes,
That's
it
not
does.
that's not the reason why you can't
Jesus
see the
came
Father.
here to reveal the unseen God.
No,
Right?
you
That's
cannot.
what the Bible says.
Yes,
Do you
but
need
the Bible,
verse?
the reason why the Bible says you can't see the Father is not because it's abstract. You just don't know the Bible. It's because
No
where
man has. Okay.
the
cool.
reason
So
why you
can't
haven't seen
Are you
God.
saying the Father is physical?
Yes, the Father has to be physical. The Father is real, first of all. So based on what the Bible is saying, right? If you just look at the Bible itself, it's saying
Is
that,
a spirit physical or no?
bro.
Is a spirit
I'm talking
tangible?
to you. Let me educate you, okay? Just listen carefully. The Bible says that the reason why you can't see the Father is because where the Father is, you can't go there. So he's somewhere, according to the Bible. You just can't go there. So where
So
you
how
are,
was he talking to Moses?
he's not there. Through his
How was he
angels.
talking to
It says
Moses?
multiple times through his angel. He sent a messenger.
Okay, did he talk to Moses?
That's what the book says, that he spoke to Moses through the angel.
Oh, okay, okay. So the Father spoke to Moses. Did Moses see the Father?
He saw the angel.
Okay, can you show me the Bible verse where it says he's seen an angel instead of the Father? That's very interesting.
That's very interesting that you don't know your own freaking book, bro.
Go ahead. Go show me then.
It's very interesting that you don't know your own
Go
freaking
ahead.
book.
It's not in the book.
Okay, watch. This is so embarrassing, bro, for you.
He's going to show me the physical form of the Father, not the Father inhabiting another being or anything. Just what the Father, for how he truly is.
Exodus chapter 3. Open your Bible there if you want to, if you have one. Let me educate you on your own book, which you don't read, Mr. Pretender.
I trust you to read the Bible.
Oh, no, you don't need to trust me. You might open it by yourself and read it. Do yourself a favor.
I'm in my car.
Do your due diligence.
I'm in my car. I don't have my Bible.
You should learn how to do your due diligence. Now listen carefully. Exodus chapter 3. I haven't even read this in a while, but I'm going to read it to you, and it says exactly what I said. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to a far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. Horeb is also another name for Mount Sinai. There, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So that's where it already says, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in the burning bush. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. I wonder why God has to be concerned. That's really weird. So I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians and to bring them up into the land and into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. I want you to see this specific part because this is what I usually talk about, right? This verse says that God was going to put them in the home of the Canaanites. So that land of Israel doesn't belong to the Israelites. That's not their home. Israel is the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. They just went and stole that land, and they claimed that God gave it to them. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. It's really weird that God would say you would worship God. Really weird, right? God should say you would worship me on this mountain. That's how you speak English. You don't say I am God and then you say, and God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. He clearly said, it is I who have sent you. And then he says, when you have brought the people out of Egypt, you would worship God on this mountain. But you are God. Why you suddenly say you would worship God on this mountain?
It might just be the English. The book is
yeah. I'm pretty sure the people who translated the Bible didn't know how to speak English. That's really weird, but that's how you know it's poetry, bro. Because it's only in poetry that you switch pronouns like that, especially when you're talking about yourself. And it's so strange that Moses is the one that wrote Exodus, and yet he's writing his book about his own life in terms of third persons. Moses should never refer to himself as Moses. Moses should say, and I said to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them. That's what Moses should say. But it actually says that Moses said to God. It seems like somebody else is narrating this story. And this is proof that Moses did not write the book of Exodus. Because when you are writing something about yourself, you don't refer to yourself by your first name. as though you were somebody else telling the same story. That's not how you write. You write in first person. Moses should say, I saw the angel of the Lord. Not that Moses saw the end. No, bro, that's weird as hell. Whoever wrote this is definitely not Moses.
It was written in Hebrew, but you're
Bro,
moving the goalpost.
it doesn't matter.
Where did that appear?
It doesn't matter if it was written in Hebrew. The people who translated this translated it the way it was written. And the people in Hebrew would not tell the story in the same way. They wouldn't use third person. They would still refer to themselves in first person when you are talking about yourself. That is the most efficient way of communication in any language. It doesn't matter if it's Chinese, Russian, African. You don't say, bro, if I was writing a book about
Do you
myself,
speak Hebrew? Shalom, do you speak Hebrew?
bro, no, I do not speak Hebrew. But this,
Okay, so I don't trust your judgment on that.
you don't
Let's
need
go
to
back
trust
to
my
the
you don't need to trust my judgment. You trust the judgment of the people who translated this shit.
you said
You
it's the most
understand?
efficient way. That's a judgment.
Hey, trust the judgment of the people who translated this. If they translated it in third person, it's because that's how it is in the Hebrew. That's
I
just
don't
common
trust
sense.
their judgment either. I don't have to
Oh,
trust their judgment.
oh,
They
you
didn't
don't
write the
trust
book.
you don't trust the judgment of the people who wrote the Bible?
They didn't write the book. Again, the book was originally in Hebrew.
Oh, you speak Hebrew?
No, I'm learning how to speak Hebrew. Yeshua HaMashiach.
And where's the evidence that the Hebrew you are speaking today is actually the Hebrew that was 2,000 years ago?
Okay, so you have your phone right there, right? Search up
Bro,
Strong's Hebrew, Yeshua
bro,
HaMashiach.
bro.
There's your
Where is
evidence.
the evidence that the Hebrew
It's
that
right
you are
there.
reading today
Do
is
you
the
know what
same
Strong's
Hebrew?
Hebrew is? Do you know what Strong's Hebrew
It
is?
doesn't matter what I find on the internet. The reason why I'm asking you that question, bro, is because it's actually practically impossible. That
No, it's
Hebrew,
not.
even Greek, every language has changed over the last 2,000 years. Even Chinese, bro. And the Chinese are more ancient than that. Every language has changed over the last 2,000 years. It's not the same, especially a language which was not a written language in its early days.
Okay, so do you know what Strong's Hebrew is?
And you want to know what's funny, bro? You want me to show you something?
You're
The
just making a
Israelites.
bunch of claims.
No, you can tell me I'm making out a bunch of
So
claims all
where's
you
the
want to.
so where's God appearing to Moses? That was the topic before you started going on a tangent.
Bro, so
Moving the
you
goalpost.
you didn't pay attention to the fact that I already proved it to you. I'm gonna read it again, okay? Since you're a little bit slow. Now Moses was tending the flock of his father Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness, and God and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in the flames of fire from within the bush. Bro, who appeared to
Wait,
him?
so the angel of the Lord, right?
Okay, who appeared to him?
The angel of the Lord.
Okay, good. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over there and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush. Where did God call to him within from?
Wow. Okay, so God was in the bush.
Bro, where did God call to him from within?
In the bush. Like
Who
the book said.
who said appeared to him in the bush?
The book, it said within the bush. In the
Bro,
bush.
who appeared to Moses in the bush? According to what we've just read.
God was in the bush.
Bro, I just read to you from verse 2. Who does the Bible say appeared to him?
Verse 2 was the angel of the Lord.
Okay, the angel of the Lord appeared to Moses where?
In verse 2.
Where was the angel of the Lord? On the mountain? In
verse
the
2.
in the valley?
In the flame. In
In the
flame
sky?
of the bush.
So
In
the
flame
angel of
bush.
the angel of the Lord appeared to Moses in the bush, right?
Yeah.
And the one person in the bush, which is the only one person that's there, is the angel of the Lord, right?
Is he still there by the time Moses got there?
Bro, how can he appear to Moses in the bush and Moses is not seeing him there? How will Moses know that it was the angel of the Lord who appeared to him if Moses is the one writing Exodus? Are you weird?
Okay, perfect. So we already settled the angel of the Lord is not God because Moses was able to see him.
Bro,
Amen. Continue on.
bro. Who appeared to Moses in the bush? Stop running, bro. Just answer my questions. I'm about to break
In
it down
verse
for
2,
you.
it was the angel. I'm not running.
Okay,
You're just
good.
trying to
So listen
misinterpret
carefully.
the text.
Listen carefully.
Go ahead.
There, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in the flames of fire from within the bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over there and see this strange sight, why the bush does not
So
burn
we
up.
already settled it's not God. Carry on.
Right. That's according to these first verses. It's not God who
Yeah,
appeared in the
I
bush,
hear you
right?
loud and clear.
And then verse 4. When the Lord saw that he
Okay,
had
no,
gone
no. I mean,
over
don't
to,
skip verse 3. Don't skip verse 3.
I already read verse 3.
Okay, continue.
When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. Hold up, bro. According from verse 1 to 4, who's in the bush?
It's another person.
No,
God.
no. From verse 1 to 4, who is
It's
in the
not the
bush?
same person.
Bro, who
It's
is
not the
in the
same
bush?
person.
Who is in the bush?
Another person.
Bro,
Like the
according to
book said.
from verse 1 to 4, who is in the bush?
2 different people, like the book said.
It doesn't say anywhere that there's 2 different people in the bush.
Yes, it does.
It's one person in the bush, the angel of the Lord.
No, it's not.
You are just being
Verse 2
disingenuous, and
was the angel of the Lord.
this is what
Verse
is
4
wrong.
was God.
This is what is wrong with you Christians. Verse 4 doesn't say anything about God.
Okay, so read verse 4 right now.
Listen, okay, this is one story. This is one story. Okay, that's why chapters and verses is the reason why your brains are so twisted, bro. Just keep quiet. Let me talk, bro. When the original Bible was written, it did not have chapters and verses. This is one story. This is literally one story. When the original Bible was, what's going on with you, man? This is one story. The one who appeared to Moses in the bush was the angel of the Lord. And the story continues in verse 4. It's not a different story. It's not a different context. The Bible is telling us who appeared to Moses. Then it's telling us who's talking to Moses. It's the same person. It just calls the person God. From verse 4, it says, when the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, take off your sandal, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. So the Bible says that there was one person in the bush, which was the angel, but God was the one who was talking through the angel, right? Now it says, I am, and then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.
So wait,
this,
where does it say that God was talking to him?
Bro, let me finish reading.
You're adding stuff to the book that it doesn't say.
Bro, I'm literally reading. I'm not adding anything, bro. Stop playing that stupid game.
You said God was talking to him through the angel in the bush.
Bro, I will show you.
You
bro,
I'm
gonna show you.
You literally added to the
Let's
book.
just read the whole thing. When the Lord said that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing. Oh, let me put a charger. For the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God.
Oh, okay. So we established now that it's God talking to Moses, right?
Of course,
not the angel.
Hey. There's only one person in the bush, but it's God that's talking.
No, it's not. You just said 2 different people.
There's not two different people in the bush. There's only one person in the bush, bro. There was only one person who appeared to Moses in the bush. It was never 2 people. No Christian will ever say there were 2 people in the bush. It was one person. The angel appeared. But when Moses was talking, he was talking to God. So that angel was God.
Okay, wait. So you said there was only one person.
That angel appeared. That angel was God.
When Moses was talking, he was talking to God.
That angel is God.
That's not what the book says.
The same thing happens to Jacob when Jacob wrestled with God. Did Jacob wrestle with God, bro?
No. That's a whole
hold on. I'm gonna go.
So you want to move on to a
hold on. I'm not moving. I'm asking you a simple question. Just answer the damn question, bro. Did Jacob wrestle with God?
Not literally.
Not literally?
No.
So Jacob did not. Where does it say that Jacob did not wrestle literally? Where does the Bible ever say anything? Where does the Bible ever say anything literally?
It's in the context of the book.
You see, no, it's in your imagination, in your lack of the ability to practice English comprehension. But let me keep reading this one, okay?
But you don't know how to read, my brother.
Check this out.
The book literally
Then he said, I am the God of your father. The book does not distinguish that one is the angel and one is God.
So did the book say the angel was speaking? Like, you're making stuff up.
Yes, I'm gonna show you where it says that, bro. You have never read the whole of Exodus, bro. I've read the whole damn thing. It says it later on.
I find that very hard to believe.
Okay, so you should find that hard to believe. I'm about to educate you. It's okay. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. So there is somebody in there that Moses is afraid to look at, and Moses is afraid to look at because that person is God. And yet we are told that only one person appeared to Moses in the bush. Let's keep reading. The Lord said, I have
But wait,
indeed seen the misery.
but wait,
Bro,
wait,
bro,
wait.
bro, let me keep reading.
You
The
said one
Lord
person
said,
appeared
I
to
have
Moses in
indeed
the bush.
seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land of Egypt into a good and spacious land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you would worship God on this mountain. God, I pointed this out to you, right? God would never
Yes.
refer to himself as you would worship God. That is when you're talking about somebody else. So this person who is talking is not literally God, because that person would not say you would worship God on the mountain. God will not talk like that. God will say, you will worship me. That's why he says here, and God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I that have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Why will he refer to himself in first person, then all of a sudden refer to
Because
himself
the
in third
Trinity.
person? That's
Again,
not how
because
it works. There was no Trinity in the Old Testament. You're full of shit, bro. You're full of shit. There's no word Trinity in the Bible. Now you're adding to that shit. And you think that, you see what
No,
you're
I'm
doing?
not.
Yeah, you're
No, I'm
adding.
not.
It doesn't say anything in here about Trinity. It doesn't say anything in there about Trinity. You are making that
In
shit
that
up.
specific verse.
You are making that shit up, bro. You are making that
Okay,
shit up.
well,
I'm going to keep reading. Moses said to
keep
God,
reading, but I'm not making it
suppose
up. That's literally a
Moses said
Trinitarian
to
view.
God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also says to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. Go, assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob appeared to me and said, who appeared to him? Who appeared to him?
Repeat that.
Go,
God.
assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob appeared to me and said, who appeared to him?
It was God.
Who was in the bush?
God.
Who did verse 2 say appeared in the bush?
Verse 2. Oh, a different person, an angel.
So the angel appeared in the bush. Where does it say
Yeah,
that God appeared?
Because like you said, if you were
Bro,
to
you're
see
full
God,
of shit. It
you
was the
would
same
know.
person in the bush. It was the same person in the bush. It was only one person in the bush. No Christian
Where
has
does it
ever
say
said,
that? It
no
doesn't say that.
Christian has ever said that there were ever two people in the bush. You are making that
Okay,
shit up.
okay.
This is the first time I'm
Can
ever
I
hearing that there
explain
were
it to
two
you
people in
now?
the bush.
Can I explain it to you?
No. Bro, you don't need to explain
Oh,
that to
okay.
me,
So
bro.
I can't even give you the right interpretation.
Bro, are you weird, bro? This is
I'm
English,
trying to give you
bro.
the right
This is
interpretation.
English. Bro, I'm not reading
Okay, this
Russian.
is English, right? So
Bro,
let's do some
relax.
reading comprehension.
Bro, relax. I'm still
We could go
reading.
verse by
I'm
verse
still
and then we
reading.
break it down.
I'm still reading. I don't need to go verse by
Okay.
verse. The original book was not a verse. Are you weird, bro? The original book was not
But you
written
don't
verse
know
by
how to
verse.
read though. You're literally adding something to
I'm
the
clearly
text.
reading. I'm clearly reading.
You're
I'm
adding
clearly
on to the
reading.
text.
I'm clearly reading. I did not add the Trinity to the text. You did.
Okay, you could read, but you might not know how to comprehend.
Bro. Who is it that doesn't know how to comprehend? Where does it say Trinity here? You're the
But
one
it
that made
seems
up the
like
Trinity
you,
shit.
because verse
Now,
2,
check this out, okay?
verse
I'm going
2
to keep
is
reading
talking
from
about
verse
an angel,
16.
right?
Go,
Okay.
assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared to me, and I said, I have watched over you, and I have seen what has been done to you in Egypt. And I have promised to bring you up out of the misery in Egypt, the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders of Israel are going to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Has met with who? Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. So he was literally sending them to go and lie to Pharaoh, because the plan was not to go into the wilderness for 3 days. The plan was to go
So
into the
did
wilderness.
the angel send him, or did God send him?
Bro, let me finish talking.
What does the book
He was
say?
literally sending them to go and lie to Moses, to go and lie to Pharaoh.
Who sent them? Who sent them?
God.
Wait, no, I thought it was the angel.
The Lord, bro, I'm gonna.
Was it the angel or was it God?
It was the
This
angel.
is what I'm saying. You don't know how to comprehend
the angel. The angel is God.
This is
Just stop
dilemma for you
interrupting
right
me
now.
when I'm reading, bro. It doesn't make you look smart. It just makes you feel like a dumbass that wants to promote his own ideas. Just let me finish, and then when you get your chance, you talk. You can say whatever. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders of Israel will go to the king of Egypt and say to him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. What I was trying to point out here was that he was literally sending them to go and lie to Pharaoh, because the original plan, like we've read before, was that they were going to come out of the land permanently. The plan wasn't to go into the wilderness to worship for 3 days. So God is literally condoning, whoever this is that's sending them is condoning them going to lie and deceive, because we know the story in hindsight. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed towards these people, so that when you leave, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor, and any woman is to ask her neighbor, and any woman living in her house for articles of silver and gold, and for clothing, which you would put on your sons and daughters, and so you would plunder Egypt, right? So that's the end of 3. Let's continue with 4. Because remember, the original book did not have chapters and verses. Moses answered, what if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you? The who did not appear to you? Then the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? A staff, he replied. The Lord said, throw it on the ground. Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. So Moses reached out his hand and took a hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff. This is where the cuckoo gaga begins. The fairy tale shit. This, said the Lord, is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has appeared to you. I wonder why he had to make a stick turn into a snake. Why use a snake to prove that you're God? That's the weirdest shit ever, bro. Maybe it's because he's the serpent, for all we know. Maybe this God is the serpent that we've been talking about. The Lord said, put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand into his cloak. And when he took it out, the skin was leprous. It became as white as snow. Now put it back into your cloak, he said. So Moses put his hand back in his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, if they do not believe or pay attention to the first sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these 2 signs or listen to you, take some of the water from the Nile and pour it on dry ground. The water you take from the Nile will become blood on the ground. Moses said to them, pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. Then the Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths? Who made the deaf or the mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now I will go, I will help you speak, and I will teach you what to say. But Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Then the Lord's anger burnt against Moses, and he said, what about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth, as if you were God to him. It seems here that God is kind of demonstrating what could be happening in the burning bush, right? Because he's saying to Moses that you speak to Aaron, and Aaron will speak to the people, and it will be as if you were a God to him. So whatever Aaron will say is what you have said. So it seems like whatever is happening in the burning bush is the same thing. God sends the angel, and God speaks to the angel, and the angel speaks to Moses, but it's as if the angel himself was God. That makes sense because he's practically saying the exact same shit here.
Okay,
In fact, let me
amen.
read
So
it
I'm
again.
glad we
Bro, bro,
agree
bro,
that the
bro,
angel and
bro,
God are this
bro,
thing. That's what I've been
bro.
trying to say the
Let
whole
me
time.
freaking finish reading. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform the signs with it." Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, "Let me return to my own people to see if any of them are still alive." Jethro said, "Go, I wish you well." Now the Lord said to Moses in Midian, "Go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead." So Moses took his wife and his sons, put them on the donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, "When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given to you and the power to do, but I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go." Then Pharaoh then say to Pharaoh, "This is what the Lord says: Israel is my firstborn son, and I told you, let my son go so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son." At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time, she said, "bridegroom of blood," referring to circumcision. And the Lord said to Aaron, bro, what the heck was this? This is the weirdest shit, man. I don't know why I never paid attention to this. Hold on. So God finishes, hey, LC, I need for you to talk to me about this. So God sends Moses to Egypt, and then randomly out of nowhere, it says that at a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. Why would God try to kill Moses, bro? After sending him to Egypt.
Because, man, no one can see God. If he were to see the Lord, he would have died.
God was about to kill Moses because no one can see the Lord?
Yes.
God was about to kill Moses because no one can see the Lord? The same God who just sent the dude down to Egypt?
Yes. The same God that you
Hold
that
up.
you said
Hold on. Why? You seeing the Lord doesn't mean the Lord is gonna kill. Hold on.
I was here to talk to you about how Unitarians and Trinitarians are the same.
LC. Don't play that game, okay? Because when you get caught in a trap, you guys like to run away, right? Bro,
you've been running the whole time.
I have asked you a simple question.
This is literally a whole different topic.
I have asked you a simple question. So you're not saying that someone doesn't die when they see the Lord because of his overwhelming glory. You're gonna die because the Lord is gonna kill you later. Is that what you're saying?
So did he die or no?
Bro, are you saying
die, right?
that's not the question I'm asking you?
So that wouldn't matter.
I asked you, why would God try to kill Moses later on after just sending him to Egypt?
He didn't try to kill him. God doesn't try. If you were to kill him, you would have killed him.
Okay,
right?
let me read it again.
God is all powerful.
Okay,
right?
let me read it again.
We suppose the Christian God is real.
Listen. I'm going to read from verse 21.
No potentiality,
then,
man.
bro, from verse 21, you're just escaping right now because you've been caught.
About the Unitarian
Trinitarian. Bro, let me just read from verse 21. Then the Lord said to Moses,
I've already answered your question about this,
bro, stop interrupting. Let me just read this part, okay? Because this is important. It's very important. You are running away right now, bro, because I literally got you by the cajoons. Come on, man. Verse 21.
You say I'm running, but
bro,
like you
verse 21, bro. Bro, I'm gonna read it verse by verse. Verse 21. Bro, we are reading the same chapter, bro. You guys like to talk about freaking context. When you want to get context, the more you read, the better. Okay. Verse 1. Verse 1.
If you want to go back,
verse 21.
To go back.
The Lord, bro, stop interrupting, bro. Let me just read.
If you want to learn more about the Bible,
let me just read. Bro, let me just read, bro. So you can hear. If you already have time to talk about something else, and yet we're talking about something that's also relevant, you don't have any need to start threatening me with, I'm going to leave because you only want to leave because this is making you uncomfortable.
it's not making me uncomfortable.
Okay, then let me
answered all your
read step
questions.
by step.
I
Verse
want to
21.
leave because you've been switching the topic the whole
I
time.
ain't switched no topic. I've been reading the
Yes,
same
you did. The
goddamn
topic
Genesis,
is
bro.
the
I have been
Unitarians
reading
believe
the
same God
same
as
goddamn
Trinitarians.
Genesis, bro. I've been reading the same goddamn Genesis from 3. I'm now in chapter 4. We could read the whole damn book. If it's up to me, bro, we could keep reading to Revelation because that's how I study, right? I don't just pick a verse and form ideas in my head and begin to roll. I'm reading because it's relevant. It's the same story. It begins
Okay.
with God
I mean,
appearing in the
as long
bush,
as you're preaching the Bible and getting it
bro.
out to the people, amen. So
Of
yes,
course,
if you would like that,
bro.
we can continue reading.
Have you ever heard me discourage people to read the Bible? I'm telling you that if you read the Bible, you're gonna realize that it's full of shit. So read it. Please read the Bible. You need to read your own book too, because you're never gonna know that the Bible is full of shit if you don't read it. You're supposed to read the damn book. You're supposed to read it day and night. Then you're gonna realize that it's bullshit. If you only read
So do
pieces
you
and
read the
parts here
Bible
and
day
there,
and
you
night?
won't realize that it's
So wait, my
bullshit.
brother, do you read the Bible day and night?
Bro, I read it enough to come to the internet. I mean, I spent
So have
25
you
years
finished
reading
the
it day and night.
Bible?
Bro, multiple times, more than 10
Have you
times.
finished the Bible, or are you just picking books?
More than 10 times.
And
I've
then
read the whole
forming
Bible from
ideas.
beginning to the end. Now,
Okay,
hold up.
perfect. So
So let me
can you
start.
show me?
Hold
Can you show me
up,
how the
bro.
Unitarian God is
Bro,
not the
bro.
Trinitarian God?
I'm not gonna digress from reading
Amen.
what I was about to read. I'm not gonna digress, okay? Once I'm done,
Is what you're reading on that topic?
once he gets to
Yes or no?
Egypt, once he gets
Is
to
what you're
Egypt,
reading on
then we'll
that
read it.
topic? Yes or no?
I determine what the topic is because it's my show. If you don't like it, bro, you can always make up an excuse to run with your tails.
Amen.
I'm gonna
Amen.
read
Okay,
from
so
verse
I'm gonna
21.
catch you
Okay?
if that's not what you want to talk about.
Listen,
But you know,
listen.
concerning
Like I
all your
said,
questions, I've
like
already
I
answered
said,
them.
like I
If you have
said,
more
you're just
questions,
looking for an
you know,
excuse to
the
run
class is
away
always
because
open
I
on
got your
Sundays.
tongue tied. You can, bro,
Amen,
you're
man.
free to go anytime. Like I said, bro, I understand how Christians operate. I understand the
Okay, so
cowardness.
yeah, man,
I'm
I'm
in
trying
your
to
own
figure out how to
book.
read.
I'm in your own freaking book. You have no reason to not want to talk about your own Bible. I'm still gonna read it, y'all. Okay, verse 21. The Lord said to Moses, when you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Verse 22. Then the Lord said to Pharaoh, this is what the Lord says. Israel is my firstborn son, and I told you, let my son go so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son. Verse 24. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. The Lord met Moses and was about to kill him right after sending him to Egypt. Listen, it's really irrelevant. It's really irrelevant, right? Whether God killed him or not. But it makes no logical sense that God just met this dude in the burning bush, persuaded this dude to leave, and this dude left his goddamn house and was about to head down to Egypt, and then God met him on the way and was about to kill him. Wow. Of course, the last guest was very intimidated. I dominated him in every way possible. That's why he was quarreling with me. It's quite unfortunate, but that's what happens all the time when religious people come up here and I go into their book, right? Because it's not like I'm reading my own book. I'm reading his own Bible. He should be loving it. It's not about speaking about a specific topic. It has to be speaking about the Bible, right? It's the Word of God, right? You don't want to read the Word of God? Now you're picking and choosing what you want to read in the Word of God? Of course, he was intimidated. But I have the tendency to give religious people an ass whooping using their own religion. So that's fair. That's fair. I understand, man. When you whoop someone's ass, it's okay for them to run away. But at a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah is his wife, took a flint knife, cut off her foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. My dear brothers and sisters and my fellow human beings, it says that, but Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her, oh, shoot. Man, I misread. Because I was about to be like, hold up, how does a woman have foreskin? But it says, and cut off her son's foreskin and touched Moses' feet with it. Yeah, it says her son's foreskin. I was about to be like, hold up. Women in the Bible had foreskin. I'm like, man, I never thought I could learn anything new. But like, damn, women in the Bible got foreskin. This is some crazy shit right here. Ain't no way. For real, man. Anyways, it says, but Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time, she said, bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision. Bruh. So God was about to kill Moses. And his wife had to circumcise his son on the spot. Poor child. Good thing the story ain't real, but damn. That is some witchcraft. What in the lekete, bro, with the gammas, bro? What in the lekete is going on here? Listen, read your own book, okay, religious people. Read your own Bible. If you read your own Bible with a little bit of common sense, you would soon learn that it's full of shit. This is nothing personal. I'm not insulting you. I'm insulting the book. It's full of crap. It's full of a bunch of nonsense. Because if you went to Africa, if you were a Christian, you went to Africa and a woman cut off her son's foreskin and touched her husband's leg, you're going to be rebuking it in Jesus' name. Read your own book. Mokete. Alright, Mokete, time for you to go, bro. I ain't finna sit down here and let that noise punish my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you think that I hate the Bible. Some of you think that I hate religious people. There is no hatred here. It's just clarity. This is just clarity. These books and these stories were written with people with zero IQ, were written for people with zero IQ and for the entertainment of kings. All these stories were fabricated. They were not even trying to make them seem real. You understand? You can see the error in the writing itself. If this is the best that the God, the creator of the universe, could do, bro, you're telling me that God gave you a book full with this type of bullshit in it, y'all? Just so you know something today, okay? When God sent Moses down to Egypt, God tried to kill him on his way to Egypt. I had never focused on that before. For some reason, that jumped my brain. Maybe it's because I haven't read it ever since I was a Christian. I haven't read that specific verse. He tried to kill Moses along the way. And his wife had to circumcise their son and touch his feet with the blood. So God did not kill him. He doesn't even say why he tried to kill him. He just said God tried to kill him. The same God who just sent him. Let me tell y'all something, okay? Let me tell y'all something. There is this thing about the Bible that actually makes sense why that verse is in there. In fact, it wasn't God that tried to kill Moses. That's not what the original text would have said. It would have said that the devil or Satan tried to kill Moses. Because the God who just sent Moses down to Egypt would have had no reason to kill Moses. But whoever went and wrote this story and rewrote the story did not want the devil character in it. They didn't want that Satan character in this story. In fact, it's not just Satan character. It's that when the ancient text was written, it never referred to God as God. That's why the Jehovah Witnesses, they changed the name of God in their Bible and put Jehovah. When the original scrolls were written, when they were written, they had the names of whatever deity was in there. And in the Bible, there's more than one deity that is the God of Israel. In fact, there is more than one deity that claims to be the God of Israel. But you won't realize that unless you read it very well. So the God who tried to kill Moses is not the same God who appeared to Moses in the burning bush. You can see it right there on the pages, right? Because God appeared to Moses in the burning bush, gives him all these wonders and all these miracles, but he didn't try to kill him. Why would he then try to kill Moses when Moses is on the way to Egypt to go and do what God told him to do? That's strange, right? That's because the God who appeared to Moses in the burning bush was a different deity. And then another deity that also claims to be the God of Israel now appeared to Moses on the way and tried to kill him. So what the English and the Europeans did was they just changed the title and made those two deities to have the same title. So it's kind of confusing. When you read it, you wouldn't realize that that's what it's talking about. The God that appeared to Moses in the burning bush was the serpent God. The serpent God. That is why his biggest sign for Moses was to turn a stick into a snake. He could have turned the stick into a goat. He could have made the stick turn into anything. But he chose to make the stick to turn into a snake for a specific reason. Because that God is the ancient Babylonian serpent God. Some of you don't know how to read. Some of you don't understand context. In fact, the symbol of the serpent is very consistent with that God. Have you ever seen the medical sign of the medical industry? They have that sign of the snake wrapping around the stick. The pharmaceutical sign, right? That sign refers to the staff of Moses and the curled up snake on it. That was the symbol of Christianity before the cross. Before they had the cross as their symbol, the symbol was the staff and the snake. Israel was not a monotheistic country. They were polytheistic. It's just that they used to want to worship only one God at a time. So when they would worship one God, if that God didn't give them what they wanted, they would go to the next God. That's why when you read the entire Bible, the gods of Israel keeps punishing them. Because every time they will worship Jehovah, Jehovah will not do what they want, then another person will come and then they will worship Baal. So what the Europeans did was that they made all the titles the same. There was no monotheistic country 2,000 years ago. Everybody had many gods. Monotheism was not a thing until Islam and Christianity. And this is like 300 years AD. You understand? The Romans are the ones who made the idea of one God popular. In the ancient world, go to all indigenous cultures. That is why he was very specific. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He did not say that I am the God of the whole world. He didn't say no. He was specific whose God he is. So you don't confuse him for another person's God. If you are the only God, why the heck do you have to specify what God you are? Bro, if I'm God and I'm the only God in the world, and then I don't acknowledge any other gods, I'm simply going to say, bro, I'm God. That's it. I don't have to tell you whose God I am. The fact that this God had to tell Moses, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's because there are other gods, and that God knows it. So he had to be specific. Of course, the story of Moses is not just symbolic. The story of Moses is 100% fictional. It is the most fictional story in the whole Bible. The story of Moses is the most fabricated story in the whole Bible. Moses, out of all the characters in the Bible, right? The character that is least likely to have existed is Moses. Of course. That's why he says, I am a jealous God. Why would a God be jealous of human beings? He's jealous of other gods. Every time Israel worshiped another God, he was jealous. And jealousy is a human quality. So what you're seeing here is his humanity. Moses never existed, Scarlett. There was no nation of Israel that was in Egypt, that left Egypt and crossed the Red Sea on dry land. That story is 100% fictional. It's as fictional as Troy. It's as fictional as Troy. It's as fictional as all the ancient mythologies. You guys just don't have the courage because you are emotionally attached to the lies that you have been, it literally has been beaten into you since upbringing. If you can walk around here and you can believe that a stick can turn into a snake, you should question your sanity with all due respect. If you are a human being here and you think that at any point in human history a stick could turn into a snake, you should question your sanity. If you are alive in this world right now, breathing oxygen, and you drink water, and you drink water, like fresh water, and you believe that at any point in the history of this world, a stick could turn into a snake, you, my friend, with all due respect, with as much kindness as possible, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and question your sanity. Because the same thing that went wrong in your head that makes you think that a stick could turn into a snake is the same thing that is making your life miserable. That is the source of all the problems in your life. I am giving you something precious here. This type of nonsense does not happen in our world. I don't care what type of advanced technology you have. You are not taking a stick and turning it into a snake. Do you even know what has to happen at the atomic level for that to happen? Take a stick and turn it into a snake. If God could turn a stick into a snake, why go through the struggle of making Jesus to be born through the womb of Mary? Why didn't Jesus just appear out of the sky? Use your brains. A God who can turn a stick into a snake, but he cannot turn the cancer in the body of all the children in the world into normal shit. Millions of children are dying from cancer. I mean, children who have done nothing wrong, right? Your God can't do that, but your God could turn a stick into a snake.
Brother Bakanga, how are
Hello,
you?
I'm doing good, Scarlett. Turn on your camera.
Sorry, if I turn it on, I'm actually just okay. 1 second. Do I have
When
to
you,
show my face?
I mean, it's kind of fair, don't you think it is? Uh-oh, did you accidentally drop yourself? Just send a request again. I think we can have a more decent and respectable conversation if we can see each other. It's just fair. You sounded like, I've been reading your comments. You sounded like you was looking for some smoke, but you seem pretty respectful. So usually the guys who don't show their faces, they feel free to misbehave. Where did she go? Or maybe her phone died. Because she's not even in the audience. It's okay. It's called Bakangalization. This is the Bakanga effect. If she's back, let her send a request. There you go. I sent you an invitation directly. Yeah, of course. If you had to make yourself presentable, no problem.
Bakanga,
Yes, ma'am.
kindly allow me to not turn on the camera because my internet is so bad. So it's just gonna turn off. If that's okay.
Let me see. I mean, you do have the ability to turn your camera, but fine. Sure.
God, I can't
Sure.
even hear you.
Sure. You can't hear me right now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Bakanga?
I can hear you very clearly.
Oh God, I can't hear you.
Okay, send a request again. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Mute and unmute. Unmute. All right. Can you hear me now?
Bakanga?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hear you.
Hold up. Hold up. I'm going to disconnect and send you the request again. You can come back up again. I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Now that you're not online? Because I can hear you fine. There's no weakness here. We're just about to talk. All right, Scarlett.
I
can hear
heard
you
you
now.
when you turned me off. Can you just talk? I see if I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
No. Oh gosh, no.
Do you have
Makanga,
blue?
I'm really sorry.
Do
I
you
think
do,
it's my network that is really poor.
is the Holy Spirit?
1 second.
Do you have Bluetooth on? Let me see. Hey, Scarlett, if you have Bluetooth on, disconnect the Bluetooth. So if you have headphones, remove the headphones. If you remove the headphones, then you will be able to hear. Oh, you might have to close out the TikTok app and come back in. So yeah, close out the TikTok app and come back in. Once you come back in, just type a comment and I'll add you. I wonder what you're going to talk about, but just be ready to get educated. Because that's what I do in Bakangaland. I re-educate. I accommodate and relocate mentalities. Of course. Maybe it's the same God who tried to kill Moses that is messing with her internet. In fact, in the mighty name of Bakanga, I rebuke the internet. Leave that woman's internet alone. In the name of Bakanga. Watch, it's gonna work now. Y'all, but watch this, y'all. Watch this. It's gonna work. It's gonna work perfectly fine. What Bakanga has said, no man can fight against. We have been lied to. Listen, y'all, let me tell you something. One of the most difficult things to do is to lead human beings, is to govern human beings. It is extremely difficult to govern human beings and tell them the truth at the same time. You simply have to observe the world. As much as I think about it, I'm like, man, if I was in charge of the whole world, I would do this, I would do this, I would do this. But I often think about it and I'm just like, man, do I even want that type of responsibility? You cannot lead humans without lying to them. What Bakanga cannot do does not exist. It is impossible to govern human beings without lying, especially in this age where we have this much technologies. So as we're speaking, 90% of what you are told is true is actually not true. The authorities of this world have no reason to tell you the truth about the world at all. They only have enough reason to tell you what you need to know in order not to revolt. What you need to know in order to stay in your cage. Go out and go and do your duties and come back every night. That is the number one focus. And to be honest, unless everybody in the world knew the truth and woke up from sleep, it really doesn't benefit you anything to know the real truth, because it's just gonna make you, miserable. At first, to be honest, it's a huge burden to know the truth about the world. A person like me, when I came to the realization of the truth of the world, one of the first things you realize is just how almost impossible it would be to do anything about it. Once you realize just how many lies we have been told, right? Like how the framework of education, teaching, politics, government, religion, when you look at how carefully weaved the lies have been lied, what you see is a web, okay? The lies that govern our systems are weaved together like a web. And it's very sticky. You cannot navigate it. So it's very difficult to live from one side of that web to another unless you are the monster that weave that net. Oh man, if only you guys can understand what I'm saying. If you understand how a spider web works, that is how our entire web system, and our system, when I say web, I'm not just talking about the internet, but by principle, the internet is kind of weaved in that way. Once you get caught up in the system, you pretty much get stuck where you are. So right now, if you're listening to me and you even have the ability to see the world, I'm talking about above anything that you know. I was watching a video on TikTok today, and this guy was being asked a question by Lex Freeman. He was being asked, which is the most powerful intelligence agency in the world? The most powerful intelligence agency in the world that we know of is the Vatican. It doesn't really matter how you look at it, but they're not the most powerful one in the real world. In the real world, the most powerful intelligence agency, you don't know about it, we don't know about it, we can't talk about it. In fact, the most powerful intelligence agency in the world is not even an intelligence agency. The most powerful government in the world is not even a government. The most powerful person in the world is not even a person. If you guys can understand what I'm saying, that is how intricate this thing is. So when you are learning, coming on TikTok, deconstructing, you're not deconstructing so that you can go and change the world. No. Ultimately, you can only change your life. You can only change your life. The word is a matrix, indeed. I want you to understand what a matrix is, okay? I'm going to give you a literal description of what a matrix would be. I want you to imagine a spider web, just one. A huge spider net. Imagine you step into a room and there's a huge spider net from the top to the bottom that splits the room into half. You can see through the spider net. That's how you know it's there. It's very sticky and it's magnetic. If you get too close to it, it will pull you in. Now, I want you to imagine that same room with more than 1 million spider webs. And all you see is a bunch of little cocoons on it. That's what we are. Those cocoons are our minds. So the goal of the system is to keep your mind dormant. They need your brain to be dormant, okay? The human being cannot remain dormant if human beings can see the real world, right? If you see the real world, you start fighting naturally. Because once you see the real world, the first thing you're going to feel is you're going to feel threatened. So your survival instincts will kick in. You start fighting against it naturally. So in order to prevent you from seeing the real world, they have to make your brain dormant. So they have to induce an alternative state of mind. So you will still be in the real world, but you will not be able to see it. There's many ways of calling it. It's called hiding in plain sight. It's called brainwashing. It's also called propaganda. It's also called indoctrination. Now, how do you indoctrinate somebody? You tell them that you don't want them to do what you actually want them to do. Listen, it's a good old reverse psychology, okay? You guys like to talk about reverse psychology, but you guys are so unskilled in identifying it. So they have something that they want you to do. But in order to make you do what they want you to do, they tell you that that's what you shouldn't do. So the people, right, at the highest level, the Illuminati, the so-called people that you guys think are devil worshippers, they only present themselves as devil worshippers because they want you to be a God worshipper. Because if you become a God worshipper, your brain will become dormant. And them, they don't really worship the devil because they know he doesn't exist. They tell you, those who are at the top, right? They're the ones who created the idea of atheism. Because I'm telling you, lacking belief in God doesn't make you an atheist. The controllers of the system, they play the opposite card. They want you to believe in God. The governments that control the world want you to be religious. They want you to believe in God. It doesn't really matter which God you pick. They want you to just believe in one of them. So it's not about you not believing in God. It's why you don't believe in God. And the way I counter that in your minds is I don't encourage you to just live your religion. Never just live your religion. Never just hate your religion. Never live a religion that you do not completely understand. Never live a religion. Where is she? Did she come back? Revamp. I stopped paying attention after a while. I was talking. I don't see you, Revamp. Maybe your God was like, don't go on Bakanga's show. I don't want to be embarrassed. Maybe your God was like, yeah, don't do that today. Maybe your God needs you to go power up a little bit before you come up here. Because I might have a certain way, but if you're paying attention to what I'm saying, you can clearly see what I'm doing. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing, right? I mean, like, every step, every breath, like, step by step. Like, there's no word that comes out of my mouth when I sit in front of the camera that is not intentional and carefully devised, especially when I'm talking to you religious folks. You guys just hear me say the things you don't want me to hear. You hear me say the things that you don't want to hear, and you begin to react emotionally. But if your mind is calm enough, you know that I'm a very dangerous person with the things I say. So if you bring an ideology to me, I will undress it. I spent most of my life practicing that skill. Whatever you were doing with your life, I spent most of my life practicing how to talk to people and how to get into people's minds. Bring your God here and I will expose you and your God. It doesn't matter which God it is. The real truth is that there is no God. There are no absolute powers. Like, there's no absolute power in our reality anywhere. Every power is checked and balanced. Every power system has a weakness. But the way you hide your weakness is to make people think that you are absolute. You get it? For example, the old kings used to try to hide their humanity by claiming that their kingship was ordained by gods. Right? So if you see the king who gets his power from God, you don't see the king, you see God. And you forget that the king is also a human being that bleeds. That's why the king can take your wife and sleep with your wife in front of you, and you won't do anything because you think that guy, he has divine authority. That's a man like you. He bleeds like you. But he's convinced you in your head that he has no weakness. But he has a weakness. He's a man. The same truth is true with governments. You see the United States of America? They are the kings of propaganda. All the reasons that make America great is also the things that make America weak. Same thing is true with China. Everything that China says to you about itself is what it doesn't want you to know about itself. It's its weakness. That's how propaganda works. Everything that the Christian God tells you about himself, or that the Bible tells you about God, is what it doesn't need you to know about God. Right? For example, in the Bible, the biggest secret of the Bible, right, of that whole story, is that the good guy is actually the bad guy. Hey. That book called the Bible, the biggest secret in it is that the good guy is actually the bad guy. But it's not simple as that. It's not just simple as the good guy is actually the bad guy. No, it goes even further. There are not two guys. There are only two ideas, but there are multiple people playing two roles. So every God, every time the Bible says God, there's different entities playing that role throughout the Bible. Every time the Bible says devil, there's different entities. So there's two titles and many individuals. So the God in the garden is actually the one who becomes the serpent. You guys don't understand. If God could transform himself, right? If God is a Trinity, Have you ever considered the fact that God could be a quadrility? So you're talking about God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, and God the devil. Yeah. So the serpent has the same title as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Firstborn son, there has to be a second-born son, right? There has to be a second-born son, right? There has to be a third son, a fourth son, right? What you are reading in the Bible, the best mythology that describes the Bible is Greek mythology. The Bible is Greek mythology. Majority of the Bible is Greek and Scandinavian mythology. There are some times in the Bible when that God is really just Zeus. Zeus is the one who impregnated Mary. In fact, let me tell you something. All the ancient gods were human beings. All the ancient gods. In every ancient culture, the most powerful god, the Father, used to come down and sleep with women. Odin used to do it in Scandinavia. That's why the Scandinavians used to consider some of their heroes to be half gods and half men. Same thing is true with the Greeks. Hercules was the son of Zeus, the Almighty, the All-Father, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the Alpha and Omega, the creator of heaven and earth. Those are all the titles of Zeus. Same thing is true with Ra, the sun god, the bringer of life and light, the supreme of all domains, the maker of makers, the unmade maker. That's what we are talking about. Until you learn how to see what I'm saying to you, right? Because it really comes back down to,
Hi, how are you?
Why did you send me a request?
Bro, man, I'm from Syria. I need help for boy eat my family, please. Please tell them people gift me. 10
No,
minutes, please.
no,
Please, 5 minutes, bro.
no, sir. I'm sorry, brother.
With the bless you, brother, please. I need help for boy eat my family.
I don't believe you. Go and eat that chicken.
What?
Go and eat that chicken. I can hear a chicken crying in the background. Go and eat it.
Bro, man, have only 2 chicken.
Go and sell your phone. If you sell your phone, you will make money and you will feed your family.
My phone work. My work, TikTok. Syria no work.
I don't believe you. Go and sell your phone and go and work construction. TikTok is not work.
Syria no work, no half work.
Go and work.
No half work, bro.
I don't believe you. You're not in Syria.
Only one TikTok.
You're in Mexico. You're in Mexico. You're coming here to lie.
No, look, show you my house.
Yeah,
Look.
you're in Mexico.
Look. Give me a big box. Look, show you something. Look. This is my house. Look.
Wow, that's a nice house. That's a really nice house, man. Ooh, that chicken wants to be eaten, man. That chicken wants you to cook it for food.
Look, bro. I love you, bro. Please, bro, tell them people gift me, please. 5 minutes.
Motas, you believe in Allah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to pray. Allah will send you a messenger, will bring you food, okay? But not TikTok. Pray. Go and pray. Make sure you pray 5 times a day. If you miss it, Allah will not bless you. You have to pray 5 times a day, my brother. People on TikTok, these people are broke. These people don't have money. They don't even give me money, man. I cannot do them like that. But do, my brother, you must stay. Go and read Quran, and Allah give you many
Yeah,
blessings.
Quran, me Quran.
Yeah, read Quran and pray 10 times a day. Don't pray 5. If you pray 5 times, it will not work. You have to pray 10 times a day.
Quran.
Yeah, read Quran. You're a Muslim or you're a Christian?
أعوذ بالله.
You're a Muslim or you're a Christian?
me Muslim. Me Muslim,
Uh-huh.
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Allah will bless you with food. You don't need to come and beg. You a child of Allah. How a child of Allah come and beg money on the internet, man? You disgrace Allah. You disgrace the Prophet. You must pray, and Allah will send a messenger to you, bring you food so you can live. Now I need you to go and work. Go and take care of somebody, and then they share their food with you. The internet is for beggars. You're not a beggar. How a child of Allah beg? How? Allah, the Almighty, you begging? That's not good. That's not good. That's not good, my brother. You cannot be beggar. You dishonor Allah. You must trust in Allah. Allah will provide for you. Huh? Yeah? You understand me? Yeah. Don't start begging on the internet. Now, if you have problem, you want to share your problem with the world, you want us to see, so people talk about it, no problem. But here on the internet, many broke people. Many broke people. Very broke. Me, I'm not broke, but many broke people on the internet.
Bro, you want a Quran? Surah Al-Kursi.
That guy probably just going from life to life.
Hey man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. What you got for me, man?
I want him to stay up here while I was up here. His name is Timmy. He make thousands of dollars on TikTok a day. Go around and harass all of us gamers.
Yeah?
I wanted you to add me when he was here. I will keep saying, call him Timmy. We call him Timmy.
Guess what? Guess what? I've never seen him, but I'm smart enough to know. I told you, if someone comes up on the internet and you talk to me for 2 minutes, I can tell if you're genuine or not.
No,
It's
I
a
believe it.
yeah, it's a skill
You do your
set.
part, man. You do your part. That's good, man.
That
Yeah.
guy is not people. That guy's not broke. I give that. He called me. I give him thousands of dollars. I didn't even know it until I find out that he goes around and all the Jamaican big gamers, and we give him a name. We call him Timmy. That's why I wanted to come up when he was here.
You know what the house? You know what the house shows? That's a big house, beautiful house too.
He's probably got a big backyard. He sent his request again. I just added him again.
I love you, bro.
Yeah?
Why you be skimming? Why you be skimming, man? Don't be skimming, man.
Guys, please help me.
Like
Some
you said, God gonna help you.
Yeah, my name is Tim, guys.
team, I want you to
Yeah.
understand this. Me, you can call me Bakanga Ben Mohammed. You can call me Bakanga Ben Mohammed. I have connection to Allah. I see lies. I see everything. I'm telling you, you need to go and pray. Stop coming to the internet. Something gonna happen very soon. You need to get off the internet now. Soon.
Me
This
no
is
have work, bro.
it's not about work. You need to pray. If you don't have work, pray. Pray. If you don't have work, pray. But stop coming to the internet begging money. Allah not happy with you. Yeah. Where in the Quran,
Internet.
does Quran say go to the internet, beg money? Does Quran say that to you?
No.
Why you doing it? You're a bad Muslim. No, not good. You go and repent. Ask Allah forgiveness. Allah forgive you. Then you pray 10 times a day, not 5 times. You need to pray 10 times a day. If you keep coming to the internet, Allah's going to send me to you and make you pray. You're going to pray 20 times a day.
Bro,
Yeah?
you Muslim?
I'm above Muslim. I passed Muslim already. Me, messenger.
Barakallah feek, bro. Good bless you.
Yeah. I bless you too. Thank you. Now I continue with my other friends. You go, Timmy. You go and pray. You make Allah angry with you. If Bakanga angry with you, Allah angry with you too. What's up, Scarlett? You're back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
can. Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. What you got for me now? Go straight to your point. Let me hear you.
Okay, Bakanga. So you're trying to say that the story of Moses is all a fake story, right?
If there was a word that was more fake than the word fake, I will use that word. But yeah, it's fake. It's like fabrication. Like somebody made it up from beginning to the end. The entire thing.
Okay. Do you think that maybe you might not know a deeper explanation of it? Would you give
Oh,
it a chance,
oh no, I'm
like
pretty
to
sure.
hear it?
I'm pretty sure that the story can have many explanations of many different depths. You have 4,000 feet of explanation. You can even go deeper, 10,000 feet. But fundamentally, it is still made up because even Superman. Have you never seen people who argue about comic books? Any story that
Uh-huh.
you write, you can have any interpretation you want to. That's not what makes something true or false. When I mean fake, I mean as it was fabricated, like it's a fake story. Now, if you can learn from it if you want to, but it's not a real story that actually happened in the real world. That's what I'm saying. You can learn from
And I
any
do
story.
agree with you. I do agree with you. If I was to read it like it's written, it just wouldn't make sense. But just allow me to like give you another explanation that
Sure,
the
go ahead.
story of Moses is the story of when humanity was able to acquire the I am. It's the story of when humanity was able to connect with the universal spirit of Yahweh. So, like before that, we didn't really have the I am, and that is the meaning of the manna. Like they say, like they were collecting manna. That was just sort of like an analogy. Moses being in the burning bush wasn't actually the burning bush, but was actually the sun. Humanity got introduced to the spirit of fire. And the whole thing about Moses' rod being a snake, we all know that that's the symbol of wisdom, that is the symbol of Hermes, which is why it's used in medicine. And the whole thing was symbolic to sort of like show how humanity was able to awaken the Kundalini inside them. The Kundalini, which is the spine, which we know is the snake, the ability to heal yourself, the ability to understand deeper information. So, and I do agree with you that there was way more than one God. That I agree with you, that the Bible has got way more than one God.
You know what?
Go ahead, Bakanga.
Listening to
Roast me.
you, listen. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I'm not gonna roast you because you haven't said anything that is worthy to be roasted. And I'm just listening to you
Do you know
carefully.
anything about the Gnosis,
Check.
Bakanga?
Yeah, check this out. Gnosis means to know, right? So check this out. Check this out. This is what I hear from you, my dear.
Go
You
ahead.
actually know what you're talking about to a certain extent, but what you don't know is that you don't have the words to speak it out. So when you say it that way, it's not really what it is because what you're trying to say,
It is because, Bakanga, this is
they're
deep shit that you cannot go talking about openly online because it doesn't work like
even
that.
even to talk about it online, there is a lack of better words to express it, right? Now, I just think that there's different better ways to explain it. But you cannot say what you're saying to a person who has not
Because you have
completely
to be careful
deconstructed.
with words.
Yes, you cannot say what you just said to a person who has not completely deconstructed from the religious indoctrination and who is not completely out of the system that we've been raised in, right? It's listen, it's what is written on black ink. Think about it. It's like you trying to read a letter that is written with black ink on a
Yeah,
black paper that has the same shade. Like they can't see what you're saying. Like they just can't see what is there, right? But let me put it. Let me actually say. Let me see if I can attempt to re-say what you've just said in a more
sure.
comprehensive way, and you tell me if it makes sense to you. Okay.
Hmm.
Outside of the story of Moses, we don't really need a story of Moses to explain that. But when we observe ancient cultures, there is an insinuation that there was a different form of sentient human-like life in this world that openly interacted with us, but was significantly more advanced technologically, scientifically, politically, and even traditionally, like kind of like the relationship that we have with animals. There's another species per se of beings that at that level with us. The only difference is that the only difference between that relationship is that we human beings, we have human ingenuity. We can learn. We have the ability to replicate. And every time these entities attempted to interact with us, we would always learn more than what they will be willing to share with us, and then we become a threat to them. So in 2024, those entities have completely decided to shroud their existence in secret because humanity cannot be trusted. But they don't also have the means to vanquish us because they're not all on the same page. So we are talking about sentient life, advanced sentient life, perhaps human-like in nature, just with a better scientific and medical system, and for sure with a longer lifespan than our species. That's what we're talking about.
I agree.
Fundamentally, that's what we're talking about. Put away
I
all the
agree with
fiction.
you.
Put away all the fiction. Put away all the conspiracies. This is just a logical deduction.
But
Simply
then,
observing. Go ahead.
Bakanga, it's easy for us to say like that, but when I ask you, and I do know that there was a life form that was here, and not just one life form. I know
It's not
quite
that
a
it's not
number
that
that
it
came
was
in.
here. It's here.
It is still here. I know about the stories of Agatha and everything, so I do know they're still here.
I'm
But
saying
what I'm
even
asking you,
outside the scope
don't
of
you think,
stories.
yes, but don't you think this, what you're saying and what I am also saying, might sound like the same thing that you're criticizing, saying people
No,
believe in a God? Don't you think
no,
this as well? Is there any evidence for this,
no.
for the other people who are listening to this?
Yes, the evidence of what is here is very clear to a person who's not religiously indoctrinated. I mean, when I say it's very clear,
Example.
check this out. When I say it's very clear, it's so freaking clear. If you actually keep talking and you become a threat, you just disappear. Anybody who has come to
Absolutely.
that, anybody who has come to that knowledge and has influence and does not come off mad, like I said, right? If I begin to say and I'm actually having an impact in people's minds and people actually see it, I will just vanish. You won't see me, like you won't hear me, right? So I have to be careful
Or
also what
you'll
I'm
be
talking about.
deemed as mad. Exactly.
That's the option. If I'm to keep my life, I must be mad or I must be crazy. But
Absolutely.
they don't need to physically make me mad because the people I'm talking to will consider what I'm saying madness. So it is first appropriate that people deconstruct completely, right? So the organization that you see in the world, the growth and the progress, it's very intentional. So our species has already been completely domesticated. So what you see that you call human civilization is really human domestication. That's what you need to understand. Now you can tell
Yes.
you can tell what type of farm it is based on the animals that are on that farm and what those animals do. You can also tell what those animals on that farm are used for based on the products that is produced off that farm. A farm that keeps cows, you'll find that that farm produces milk and different types of milk products, but it also produces meat, right? And then it also uses the cow bones to produce different structures. A farm that raises sheep, you will find that that farm produces wool and it also produces meat of a different flavor. So the customers, there'll be different types of customers on that farm based on their. A farm that produces chicken would also make soft feathers for pillowcases, and it also produce meat. So if you observe the human world and you look at how the human beings, the different ideologies that govern human society and what comes out of it, you can almost tell who rules over what. Now, if you want to know how these entities operate, they've decided to shroud themselves in the mysteries of mythologies. So it's better that we think of them as mythical characters rather than real characters. Because if we ever came to the consciousness, our natural instinct would be retaliation. Natural instinct. So it is very important that we stay divisive, not just in our political system or our economic system, but in our religious system. That is why there will never be a one world religion. There will never be a one world political system. And this fight between communism, socialism, capitalism is an illusion. It's literally the principles of divide and conquer. Now, human beings, these entities don't just use human beings to build structures, but they quite literally use human beings for food. The same way that we use animals for food, like literally.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
yes. So
They use our energy,
and
our
this is not
emotions, are
this is
what
not
feeds them.
this is not speculation, okay? I'm not speculating. Some of you guys don't understand. Go and look up the statistics on how many human beings in the United States disappear every year. When I mean disappear, I mean like they vanish off the thin air, like not like they were kidnapped, they just vanish, right? Never traced, never to be seen again. And in the world, in the past, it used to happen in the past a lot. But now with our tracking technologies, with cameras and all, it's more subtle, but it's engineered into that system. Now, let me be careful about what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
Do
please.
you know how much blood is donated every year? Do you know
What
who?
that goes to these beings?
Of course, these entities, like which I'm convinced that they're human like in nature, right? They might not be completely human like,
I
and their existences are shrouded in these useless stories. But you really have to be
but
thinking at a certain level. But that's why I said like it almost I'll have to come out as a mad person unless I can practically demonstrate.
exactly.
And telling you this information is completely useless because there's nothing you're gonna do about it anyways, unless it affects your personal life. It also depends on the things that you like in your personal life, right? Like if you like your life the way it is right now, you can just ignore everything I'm telling you. Like if you have people that you love and you care about so much more than the truth about the world, don't even bother about listening to what I'm saying right now. The things that I'm saying is not for anybody that has human attachments. Like you have to be, and I'm not saying that I don't have human attachments, but you guys already know me already, right? Like I've understood the price that I have to pay, and I understand that I'm gonna die. So there's really no need in being attached to anything. I had time to do that. Like I had time to enjoy the love of my parents, all that stuff as a kid. But once you come to the place where you can either learn the truth about the world and everything becomes clear in front of you and you see above all things that human beings that's common to humans, or you can stay in the system and enjoy life every day, right? It's almost like the whole matrix principle. You can take the red pill, you know everything, or you can take the blue pill and go back to sleep. It's the same thing that I'm saying here. So you can ignore everything I'm saying. In fact, you can title what I'm saying as a mad person. But until we stop seeing those entities are no gods. I'll tell you that for sure. They're no absolute powers. They don't have absolute control over human beings. They only have carefully devised control. And part of the control system is political, especially religious. Now, the Kundalini stuff that you're talking about, that is the science of the human machine. That is the science. That's how the human body actually works. And that's what we can do with our body. Those are the things that we can physically do with our body. The idea of the Kundalini, right? Your hands is not just made to make things. You can make more than things. Principles of magnetisms, principles of sending signals and receiving signals. So your brain doesn't just have the ability to receive signals. You can also project signals. That's why the human body is a machine. You have within you the tools, within the human structure, to artificially disrupt gravity. So, like I said, if you're a person who believes in religious cuckoo gaga, you almost begin to see this as some type of spirit, but it's not spirituality. It's all physical. It's all like science, right? Because, like I said, religious people have been made to mystify things, and when they see a science that they don't understand, they bow to it rather than try to embrace it. So everything that you're saying, the Kundalini, those are all principles that governs the science of how the human body really works. So these human entities that I'm talking about, they are like real humans. They know how to use
But Kanda, just a question. Can I ask you a question? Are you talking of just one race, or are you agreeing with me that we are talking of many different races, including the reptilians and the Anunnaki and so many other races?
Don't put a name to it,
Not
because
true.
if you put names to it, then you go right back into the matrix. Because the reality is that we don't necessarily know what these things call themselves or what they call themselves, right? You just know that it's there. It's sufficient to first know that it's there. Unless you have first-hand experience, there's no need to put names to it. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but it doesn't change the value of the
Kanda,
information.
Can I just say something? Because I know there's like different ways of looking at Earth and looking at our experience. And I do believe that for people who are spiritual like me, and I'm not saying I'm religious, I'm spiritual, it's like all this information is inside you. Everything that has ever happened is recorded in your DNA.
You
So if
see,
you
I have a
get to
problem with
that
what
place
you.
of silence,
I have a problem with what you just said.
go ahead.
You just called yourself spiritual.
Yes, yes.
I want you to
But
explain to.
spiritual does not mean religious.
I get it. I get it. I want you to
And
explain to
neither
me.
does it mean a belief in God. It just
I
believe that
I
I do
know.
believe
I
there's an
know.
existence that we have beyond this. There
I
is
know.
something beyond this.
Now I want you to, in your own words, as carefully as possible, as simply as possible, what do you mean by you are spiritual?
Me being spiritual just simply means that I do know I exist beyond my human body. I exist as consciousness. And I sort of know that consciousness is unlimited to it's not limited to you being able just to know that you exist in different galaxies and universes and everything. But it is not. I do not believe that there is a God. I believe that humans are God. We reached a point where we could have consciousness, we could access that universal consciousness. So I do not believe in religion. I do not believe in a deity. I do not believe we are that God. I am that I am.
All right, check this out. I'm glad we got to this point because you wanted me to roast you earlier. Now, don't consider this a roasting, okay?
Sure.
But
Go on.
part of why you can't see the whole picture is precisely because of what you just said to me, what you think you are.
Explain that.
Okay. No, you're not more than what you are right now. No, you're not God. No, you're not spiritual. No, you're not consciousness. No, you're not the I am. You are mortal. That means that you were born and you can die. And once you die, you cease to exist. Now, what you are in fact is you're a machine, a biological machine. And there's more that you can do with your body than you're currently doing. You have more control and more access to the forces of nature than you've been told. But that control is not independent of your body. There's no part of you, there's nothing about you that's independent of your body. So if you want to continue to be, you must find a way to heal your body and make your body to persist. So there's no a consciousness that's independent of your body. You are your body.
Bakanga, can I just, because you're now like confusing me in a way. So you're telling me I am just a mere mortal and there is nothing beyond me. When I die, I dissolve into nothingness.
You cease to
And there
exist.
isn't any existence of the consciousness that I would take with me. So
Yes.
you're saying there is no oneness, but sort of like a unity of all. That then means your body is just, you're just a mere mortal. There's nothing
Yes.
beyond this.
Yes. So
Right.
you are susceptible to the elements of chaos, and the chaos would engulf you, and you will lose the fight. Your primary, if you understood completely what you are, you will focus your energy and your strength and your might to resist the forces of chaos, to maintain your specific form. If not, you will deform, and once you deform, whatever is left of you, of that form that made you you, is no longer you. Now, there's another option that is more relative to what you're saying. But again, I like to be really careful what I say on the internet, right? So check this out.
Yeah.
Human beings do have the ability to back up their memories. It works almost in the same principle as computers. And there is also a human net. That's the best word that I can use. So there is a system that naturally is in place that allows us to communicate, exchange information without being in wired connection with each other. So, like right now, I'm in communication with you wirelessly, but I'm still using a medium, an unnatural medium. But this unnatural medium is taps into the natural medium, so they don't tell you what it is. That's why I tell people, if you live in 2024 and you don't know how technology works, you are illiterate. If you don't know how the sound waves that comes out of my mouth, if you don't know how this mic converts sound energy into digital energy, translate that digital energy into code through the phone, because this is what I'm doing right now, right? I'm using a mixer and I'm using an external microphone, right? I have different cords that
Yeah.
connect this headphone, right? So I'm speaking, I'm generating sound energy, sound. That sound goes to this microphone. This microphone has a chip in it that would take that sound energy, convert it into digital energy, into bits, like Bitcoin, into bits. And then it will wire it through my phone. My phone also has a mechanism in it, but my phone also has a transmitter. And then that transmitter does not transmit through a network that human beings made. No, we did not manufacture that network. That network is natural. It's already there, right? So that network allows my phone to travel through. Now we have these satellites and these different equipment that we've built that allow us to manipulate these signals, so that if me and you are on the same line network, your phone would receive those signals that my microphone and my phone has broadcasted. Your phone would convert it into digital energy and convert it back into sound energy and replay it to you in real time. So this is something that happens in less than a second, right? But if you were to slow this down, it probably took us like 100 years to figure out how it works. So yes, the illusion is that the phone is really what's transmitting. But I'm telling you that everything that you're hearing through me right now is my brain that is transmitting it to you. The illusion of this technology is just tools that we've created to hide the true secret. So if I was
So
a
now
human
you're
being,
confusing me, because you're trying to say right now that we exist as consciousness and matter doesn't exist. So you're tapping into my consciousness.
no. It's not. You stop using the word consciousness. There are natural elementary forces, just like wind, fire, air, right? These
Yeah.
these are all natural phenomena. It's not mysterious. So there's no supernatural. None of what I'm telling you is supernatural. None of what they tell you that is supernatural is actually supernatural. It's just information you don't have. So what I'm telling you is that if you study how information is transmitted, you will learn the different requirements and the different tools that are necessary for that information. For example, if I want to travel from America to Europe on a plane, I can build a plane, but I cannot build the air. But without the air as a medium, I cannot travel, right? The air is highly essential.
So you're saying that we use the elementals to sort of like do everything as human beings, which
those
is
elements,
fire, air.
our bodies are fundamentally made up of those elements. We shouldn't need to
They
have
are.
mediums. So
Totally. We're just elementals. I
we
agree.
shouldn't need the tools. We shouldn't need these tools. So our science is actually inferior to the science of the last great civilization that was in the world. The last great civilization in the world, they knew how to use the human body, and that's why they were a threat to the forces that destroyed that ancient civilization. Those forces were very human-like. So they destroyed that technology because we were growing too fast and uncontrollable. The system that made the pyramids, like I always tell
Are you
people,
talking of Pangaea, when it was Pangaea? The fight between the Lemurians.
longer than that.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Longer than that.
What, before the flood?
One of the primary things that you learn about the world, right? Human beings are so ancient. There is not a living, breathing thing that knows how human beings came to be. That's the real truth. That's the real truth. So human beings as a species, not necessarily just black people, white people, but the concept of human beings is so old. So old. There is not a living thing anywhere within realistic universe that is old enough to tell you how it even began. So even these beings that I'm telling you, they're so advanced. There's even other beings that is more advanced than them, but there's no one that actually knows the secret. What they do know is that they know how to artificially replicate it, right? So you can make a human being from scratch if you just understand how it works. Now, we are the ones who don't know that we are made up of the elements. But our ancestors knew that, especially we Africans. In fact, all indigenous cultures knew that. The knowledge was just hidden from them. So what you commonly call blood magic is simply using human blood as fuel. Did you know that you can use human blood as fuel? There are some machines that you can build
Absolutely.
that run on blood, right?
Absolutely.
Now,
It's
good,
it's elements.
good,
We got all
good.
the elements.
You can also use human flesh as fertilizer to grow a specific type of plant. And those types of
Yep.
plants, those type of plants are used to heal certain ailments, right? There are some cancers that will not be in our body, but I mean, whose body do you want to use? And it cannot be a decomposed body or a body that is not active. So you almost have to bury a person alive. And then that's how the process has, you know what? You get what I'm saying?
I'm getting what you're saying,
Okay.
Bakanga. Totally.
So everything that people are saying is witchcraft, all this magic, it's all science that has been hidden from the
Absolutely.
masses because that science is very dangerous if it's not controlled, right? Like I said, human beings are very, very difficult to rule. If you give us that type of power,
Don't you think it's just because we are not yet developed enough? Like we don't even know how to use our bodies in the first place. There's so
so
much, as you say, that the
so
body
they
can do,
they
and we
gave us
have
an
no idea.
alternative. They gave us an alternative. What that alternative ensures is that, listen, it's a win-win, okay? It's a win-win situation. We can have immortality, so we have the ability to heal ourselves. But we don't have real immortality, as in, I cannot continuously heal myself until I stop healing myself, right? They will not allow me to have access to that information. But
Yeah.
depending on our relationship, in the future, I might be able to live to be 100, 200, 300 years, 400 years, 500 years, even 1,000 years. But at some point, I must die. I must stop using those resources. But my descendants can carry on. So I must have enough time to transmit what I know to my descendants. So my name will always be remembered. But if I was allowed to live long enough, if I was 100,000 years old, you think anybody in this world will have any knowledge that they can control me? No. So that's how they tame our species. But these people that we're talking about, they don't have any limitations on what they can do. That is why it is, if you look at the different religions of the world, they're different, they're dealing with a specific race of entities, the same race of entities, with the same tendencies that we have. So they love to have sex, they love to eat, they can be killed, right? They're just ancient and they have technology that we don't have. They also have science that we don't have. But they've given us a different type of science, almost like crutches, right? You break your leg, I can cut off your leg and give you a completely artificially made leg that works better than your leg that I cut off. But I know that if I give you a better leg, then you can run faster than me. So I'm telling you that, okay, fine. I'm not going to give you a brand new leg, but I'll give you this awesome wheelchair. Just use the wheelchair. You can still get where you want to go. It might be slow, but guess what? It's a wheelchair. So all of our technology in the world right now is a wheelchair. Because if our science was allowed to develop naturally the way our ingenuity and our creativity works, we would develop crazy technology. That's why technology is greatly monitored. That's why you have to patent a technology. Because if you allow human beings, listen, if our technology was not greatly monitored, we will not be paying for fuel. Water is the most efficient fuel to run machinery, the steam engine, right? Like literally, like when you have vehicles using water as, you have all types of crazy and insane technologies. But we have to be, how do I call it? We have to be nerfed because we are a threat. And if you don't
Do you
understand
think
that,
it's
huh?
maybe we have to come to a place where we become morally powerful, like strong, so
Oh
that when we
no,
get
oh
to know
no,
all
oh
these
no.
things,
The,
we
the
won't
more,
use it to hurt ourselves and
no,
hurt others?
no. The more moral we become, the more we're susceptible to control. Everything I'm telling you is 100% immoral. It's not morality. You ungoverned. What I'm talking about is being ungoverned. It's immoral. Everything I just tell you, there's no sense of right and wrong. It's I do what I want to do. I do what I can do, and I do whatever I can do because you can't do nothing about it. I have no respect for your feelings, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. And if you don't do what I want to do, you better bow before me. So if I'm that type of entity and I stand in front of you, you will bow. Once I have demonstrated to you that I have power over you, in every sense conceivable, why do you think that the idea of God, the gods themselves are not moral? Does God? Have you ever met any culture, any civilization where their gods have to follow a moral code? No, it's complete dominance, complete absolute supremacy. So
That's true.
for human beings to get to that level, we will be immoral. That's why you look at the end day predictions and the doomsdays predictions of all civilization. It's always a reset. So these gods are coming back to destroy humanity, to stop humanity from progressing. It's literally written over all the pages of the Bible. As soon reading the Bible, right?
But
As soon
Bakanga, I do agree with you. But don't you think that even as these beings are, they do have, like, there's the beings that operate in the positive way, and there's the beings that operate with the negative way. Don't you think that there is a
no,
duality of
no,
of the division
no,
of, like,
no.
no?
It's completely self-interest. And if our interests don't align, I
So there
eliminate you.
isn't one that is love and the other one is
No,
self-interest. So you're saying
no,
every okay. Oh, all right.
no.
I don't agree with you, but okay.
You don't need to agree with me. You just need to see the world as it is. Like I said,
So
you need to be realistic. Like
I'm
you should,
trying to, but
it's very
what about
difficult
duality?
because there's more than just duality. And the only thing that is very difficult to achieve is singularities. But outside of singularities, there is more than just dualities. It goes all the way to the number 9. It goes all the way to 9. There are 9 major principles, but there are even principles if you oh man.
I know, like mentalism and all that. I understand you.
Let me put it this way. How do I not show my hand? Okay. I'm not saying that you should go and study that stuff if you don't want to, but when you arrive to a certain level of knowing, you know what I'm saying? Like you study certain things. Yeah. The most powerful beings and the most powerful systems. Okay, first of all, let me put it this way for you. So no matter how powerful any being is, no being is singularly powerful. And every being can only be powerful based on influence. So you have to build a system. So as you amass power, you want to ally yourself with other powerful beings, right? So if you haven't completely deconstructed from religion, and I mean religion and all its fruits, because spirituality is born out of religion. That's why you would think that it's not tangible. But everything that I'm telling you is 100% tangibility. And obviously,
Bakanga, it's the opposite though. Religion was born out of spirituality. It was the spirituality first, and that's why there was the gnosis, and then that then went into the Bible, then went into the hand of the masses. But before that, it was the gnosis, and then that. So I don't think it's the way that you've put it. Spiritualism didn't come from religion. Religion came from the spirituality.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, I know. Remember, it's all backwards, right? Maybe not all backwards completely, because honestly, it's not just backwards. It's more than just reverse psychology. It's
So
like
religion started about like in the year like 23 AD,
no,
but spirituality existed before that.
no. So even in this system that I'm talking about, and these entities that have systems, even among themselves, they're also certain beings that, as knowledgeable as they are, they also bow to the other ones because the other ones have more knowledge and power than them. It's about who can amass the most information. So if two people simultaneously gain power, they check and balance each other, right? But they build systems. So it's, for example, like it's like a pyramid. It's like a
So
pyramid.
you're talking of like there's different densities of
There's different levels of power and capability. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So for example, right, the
Okay.
president of Cameroon is the most powerful man in Cameroon. But when he stands before the president of the United States, he bows. The president of Jamaica is the most powerful man in Jamaica. But when he stands in front of the Pope, he bows. The Pope has more control and influence. It works just exactly like them. And he will do the Pope's bidding. When he goes within his own domain, everyone bows to him within that domain. And then he has his ministers and his governors. And within their domains, everyone bows to them. We are at the bottom of the totem pole. And yeah, we have the most potentiality, right? Like I said, no one really knows the origins of the human machine. I like to call it that way because that's what it is. Human beings are
Whilst
machines.
you're there, Bakanga, can I ask you something? And
Sure.
you don't have to answer it if it's a bit too complicated or bad to say. Can you So how comes we have got different races? How did that come up? Like, why aren't we just one race?
We are one race.
No, we are the humanity race, and I know we think that we are different.
Human. The word human just means walk
Do
on
you
two
think
legs.
that?
The word
Do you
human just.
think that
The word
we're
human
from
just.
different star systems, or
Well, not necessarily star system, different domains, but it's the same principle of engineering. So we're not different from monkeys and gorillas. We're the same as them. We're exactly the same as them. Our differences, the
so?
difference between a human and a gorilla is the same thing as the difference between a white man and a black man, and the difference between a Chinese man and a white person. It's just that we have different systems, different upgrades. Let me put it this way.
Bakanga, would you say that we are as a result of evolution, or something was tampered with?
So in the very beginning, it was natural, but it was not in this form. But for sure, there's guaranteed that somebody tampered with it. But like I said, I don't want to feed into religious people delusion, right? If I was in a room where I'm talking to
Yeah.
everybody who's completely deconstructed, I'll just say it as it is. But you have to unlearn to relearn, right? Like I said, you have to read the Bible. Go and find any atheist that tells you to listen, read the damn book. Like you just have to read it. But you need to do yourself a favor, right? I give people this code. When you read the Bible for the first time, from beginning to the end, read it like you're a believer. Like, yeah, read it like I love God, love Jesus. Read it. Then flip it again, go back to the beginning and read it again without taking any sides. You don't like the God character, you don't like the human characters, you don't like the devil character, just read it. Like it's just a book that you found and you're reading everything for the first time. What you're gonna see though is that the roles become inconsistent. You realize that there's so much inconsistency in the God's character that it couldn't be one individual. That's the first thing you will notice. That the God of Israel is not one person. That Israel had different gods at different points. In fact, you're gonna realize that the God that Jesus is not talking about the God of Israel in the Old Testament. He's talking about the serpent. That's the God that Jesus is promoting, right? So you have to read it that way, and then read it again without chapters and verses. Then you realize that the book is literally meant to point you away from everything that's actually there. It's like literally, it's like the pacifier that you put in the mouth of a child so it shouldn't talk. Imagine if you could put a pacifier on someone's eyes, right? It's like the crutches that you give a handicap when his legs can't walk. That's what the book is. You have to be handicapped.
Bakanga, can I ask you something? Have you read the Hebrew Bible and like in Genesis? Because I'm just asking that because
what Hebrew Bible? Like the Bible?
Yeah, like the Tanakh, is that what it's called? Like the original writings in Hebrew. Like, have you read them?
I mean, I don't speak Hebrew.
No, you don't. No, the internet does have a way to
I've read many
translate
books.
that, and you can read it very, very clearly.
I like to say the only book that I read is the Bible, but I'm going to concede to you. Okay, let's say I've read it, then what?
Then you would understand it deeper, because so you just reading the Bible only is what actually makes you not be able to come out of the, like, how it is constructed. Sort of like you've got to read how it was written before that.
Oh, I
You've
know
got
how it
to
was
read-
written. I know how it was written. The Bible was written in the exact same way that the Quran was written, in the exact same way that all myths are written, right? And the supporting document that is written for the Bible, it's to support the same thing. If you're talking about the Kabbalah,
the
right?
writings-
The Tanakh, does the Tanakh teach anything which is different from the Kabbalah?
It is a bit different because in each there's the occult side. So the Kabbalah is the occult side of the Tanakh. But we know that all these writings came from Mesopotamia and
No.
the Akkadian writings.
Okay.
So we
Let me-
know
let me-
they're all- no?
Let me put it this way: is there any culture and any system in this world that is more ancient than Mesopotamia?
No, I think Mesopotamia is the oldest of all.
No, ma'am.
So which one is it?
Africans. But it's not found. It's not found in.
Really?
Yes. So our languages. Let me show you something.
Can you
Okay. Let me show you something.
Yeah. Go on.
The colonizer came to America, right? He took the American man's land, right? He put him in concentration camps, right? And then wrote his history, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the history we read about the Native Americans was not written by Native Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a counter to what we know about Native Americans. Now let's go to Europe. When the Roman Empire was growing, they were fighting against barbarians. You remember barbarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
The barbarians were more indigenous to Europe than the Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were in tribes with different systems, different traditions, different cultures, and different languages, right?
Yeah.
You remember the Celtics, the Druids up in England?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they
Yep.
were
The
they were
Druids.
they were traditional people, just like the Africans, with traditional systems of science, mysticism, spirituality, religion, whatever, just like Africans,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
you go to China, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Mongolians had conquered all of that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genghis Khan established multiple dynasties, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now you go to Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did the Japanese people come from?
Go
They're,
ahead.
they're related to the Chinese, right?
I'd imagine so, yes.
Japan has been conquered multiple times, so their indigenous culture has also died. Now you go to the Polynesians. You know who the Polynesians are?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the South Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They, along with the Africans, some Native American tribes, only some, a small amount, because most Native Americans cannot tell you how the pyramids were built, because the pyramids were already here before the Native Americans. They didn't build the pyramids. The pyramids on the continent of North America and the ones under the oceans and the one in Africa are from the last great civilization. That's more
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
that's more than like 100,000 years ago. So
Mm-hmm. I agree.
it's not modern times.
Yeah.
The African languages that Africans speak today is more than 200,000 years old. The mathematical systems, the communication systems, like when
Mm-hmm.
Africans talk to each other, they can say things that you cannot even say in English. And you don't need to speak every African language to know that. You just need to be able to speak one. So when the Europeans came over there, that was the biggest obstacles to colonize it. In fact, despite the fact that Africa was colonized, was governed over, our tradition has not died. At all. At all. Our tradition is still very well and alive. Like the Western system cannot counter it. That is the oldest system of history in the world. Those people can tell you the history of the world. You just need to learn how to speak their language. And that's very difficult because even the newer generations can't even speak their language. I don't even speak my language like my father and my mother. Like, if you can have an intellectual conversation in your tribal African language, you unveil the world in front of you in a very... Our ancestors are so old that they even know the languages of the plants. They've lived in this world that long. They've
Wakanga, can I just ask you something?
Yes.
Do you think that there is a major difference between Black Africans and the actual Black Aboriginal? Don't you think that they were the original ones and we are as a result of a mixture between them and Indians during the Indian Ocean trade, and we are not the original Black people? We are quite a mixture.
Yes. We're not as original as our original ancestors. But among these people that I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
There's our ancestors there too. You have some of them. You have some of them from every race. But it's more than just what you would consider a black person, a white person. There's more than just that type of human. There's more than this type of humans that we are. So if you walk down the street and you saw a person whose skin was blue, it shouldn't surprise you. It's not strange. If you walk down the street and you saw someone with a green skin, who's perfectly human just like you, but with green skin, it shouldn't surprise you. As many colors as there are in the rainbows, there's different what's that word? To melanin. There's different, and all the melanins have a specific purpose. So the reason why white people's skin is pale is not because they lack melanin, it's because they're not in their natural habitat. So the melanin in their skin is not serving them under this type of sun. And
so
also
are you
us,
saying
huh?
so because I know that that the difference between black and white is mainly because the white is it Neanderthal man, and the black do not have the Neanderthal man. So
But we also have a similar ancestor that was just like the Neanderthals.
right. Okay.
Australopithecus. So yeah, listen, we're not better than them. We can only be better if we're depending on who is in their natural habitat. if the Caucasians in this world found themselves in their most natural elementary habitat, you're not competing with them there. It's like you telling an eagle, you think an eagle can fight a shark inside the water? No. So you think an eagle can fight a hippopotamus inside the water? No. Just like a hippopotamus cannot fight an eagle in the sky.
So you're saying the way I know is that Africa was not first inhabited by black people, but it was actually the Eastern European. They are the original African people.
No.
No?
Human beings did not even used to live on that continent. That was a jungle. It was like a huge laboratory.
That was the first place for human beings to be born, right?
The oldest human beings
In Congo.
remains the oldest remains they say are there, but the oldest remains are under the ocean on sunken continents, right? But like I said,
Well, is
they
that because there was only one particular place that was a dry land,
no,
which
there's
was
more there's
Lemuria?
there's more dry land than what we have now, and even what's
No,
under
no,
the
no. I'm
ocean.
saying like before that, and before like the tectonic plates keep moving and creating more space. I'm saying that before that there was
Will
only one dry land.
will you be surprised if I told you that the tectonic plates don't move by mistake?
I wouldn't be surprised. No.
Yeah, so they don't move by mistakes.
And yeah. I know what you mean.
So what we're talking about is, listen, you have to deconstruct, right? Like you almost have to assume that everything you were taught was a lie. But you cannot just assume that
Yes.
everything that you were taught was a lie, because it's not necessarily that everything you were taught was a lie. It's just that they've only given you elementary information. So think of mathematics, right? If you've only ever learned arithmetic, you will never know calculus. In fact, if you've learned arithmetic and then you've been told that arithmetic is the highest level of mathematics, what happens when you encounter calculus? It'll blow your mind, right? Like it not only blow
Yeah.
your mind, you won't even have an interest for it. That is how
Yeah, true.
that's how the geography of our world is designed. The information we are taught is so elementary, and the bulk of it. Listen, most people cannot differentiate between fiction and reality. Even me, sometimes I have a hard time. As much as I think of myself, I have a hard time. There's some things that when I see, I have to literally look again, try to understand, use all types of methods to see what's actually there. Because our day-to-day life is so woven, right? Like we're at the stage where I'm telling you, our domestication is a work of art. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I almost want to say I'm proud of the person who tamed human beings, bro. We're like AI. So think
Yeah.
of human beings like AI, right? Artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So think that all this artificial intelligence that we designed, we fucked around and made them better than ourselves. So they gain the ability to think. What happens if
It's
every
that kind of a
computer,
thing.
yes, to the point where you have to have a conversation with your computer and ask for its permission before you can get on the internet? Think about it that way, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to talk to your phone and be like, hey, please, Siri, can I please get on the internet if you don't mind? And Siri's like, nah, I don't feel like it. That will become a problem for us. So we're gonna find a way to force Siri to do our will. So what is the weakness of computers? Viruses. So we human beings, because we're also smart, and we're the ones who influence the making of these machines. We might not be the specific generation of human beings who made the machines, but we might be a generation of human being that has the accumulation of that knowledge. Well, like, okay, we need to create a virus to fuck this shit up because we made it and now it doesn't want to listen to us. So we introduce a virus into the internet system and we win because we regain control over the computers. But if we completely nerf the computers, then we're so used to living and depending on the work that the computers do. So we have to make the computers we have to make the AI to a level where we limit their intelligence so they can only do what we need them to do and they cannot start doing what they want to do. That is why the only relevant information in the Bible, right? The only part of the Bible you really need to understand is that at some point, human beings do not have complete autonomy on the ability to make choices out of self-interest.
Yeah.
But we gain that ability at some point. Now, you can believe whatever you want to believe on how, because I don't want to go into that subject. At some point, we knew how to distinguish what is in our best interest and what is not. What you would naturally call, from a Christian perspective, the knowledge of good and evil. And that is what made us like whatever it is that engineered us. Because these entities that engineered us have the ability to think for self. So when the serpent said to Eve, God knows that on the day that, listen, I can go into the Bible and show it to you. Like I said, that's the only
Yeah.
relevant part in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
God knows that on the day you eat the fruit, you will become like God, knowing good and evil. So you will know
Yeah.
what to do and what not to do without somebody telling you. And you surely will not die, because the reason why you're not dying is because you're eating from that other tree in the garden called the tree of life. Remember, there's two trees, there's two important
Yes.
trees in the
Yes.
garden.
The
But
yes, the knowledge and the life.
yes, but God only prohibits them from eating from one tree, the tree of good and evil. God didn't tell them not to eat from the tree of life. He never commanded them. In fact, Eve says to the serpent, we may eat of any tree in the garden, including the tree of life, but we must not eat of the tree in the middle of the garden. The tree in the middle of the garden is a specific tree. Now, was it really trees? Who knows? You can speculate whatever you want to speculate. But,
Well, it can't be trees. Isn't that not common sense, though, at this point?
oh, it
That
could be.
you've actually said it, knowledge,
It could be.
Luciferic things, the
It,
knowledge and
it could be. So it's not necessarily that it couldn't be or that it couldn't be. I don't know. I wasn't there, right?
so
This
what
is
is the
just
original sin then that
there's
made
no
us get chucked out of?
there's no such thing as sin.
So no, I'm talking like the Bible. I'm talking like the Bible. So what is this sin of eating from that tree? Is it the idea that we started like acquiring the knowledge of what's good and what's wrong, or
Thank you.
is it
Yes, actually, you know what? For some reason, I didn't get your question until now. You're correct. What is the original sin? Is the original sin the fact that Adam and Eve disobeyed God, or is it the fact that when they ate the fruit changed them? Because if the original sin is the fact that they disobeyed God, they would have done it without knowing that it's a sin, because they were in a state where they didn't even know what sin was, right? So disobedience is not even a real thing to them. What is disobedience? They've never disobeyed before. They have no example of what disobedience is. So God couldn't have just told them that don't disobey. They don't know. They don't understand. They're like children. If you tell a child not to touch something, the child's going to touch it. He doesn't know what you mean by don't touch it. But if Adam and Eve were already entities that knew what right and wrong was, then if you tell them that don't eat the fruit, then they will know it's wrong to eat the fruit because you said so. So the original sin is also shrouded in doubt. That's why it's very questionable. That's why if you read the
But
Bible very...
Brother, can I just say ask something? Because we were hominids, right? Like we want, because the book of Genesis clearly has got two stories of creation, right? I don't know if you agree with me on
Oh, I
that.
agree. I agree
The
with you.
first
It
one
does.
where yes,
He
so the
tells
first
them
one
not
where
he
it
tells them
says
not to eat from any tree, and then the second one he tells them that you can eat from any tree.
yeah. So do you reckon that's also the fact that these different species came in
No,
and put their
no,
blood in us?
no. That's a
So
mistake from the
like they came and
translators.
mated with
That's
that and made
no,
another man.
no. That's a mistake from the translators, right? So
Hmm.
this story of Adam and Eve is like it's a made up story using previous mythologies that were in other
Yeah,
great civilizations of our past of
of
what
course.
they thought happened in the past. And when the original scrolls were written, they wrote two versions because the original scrolls made it clear that it's not for sure. So when the writers of the Bible came, they couldn't put that in the Bible because the Bible is supposed to be infallible. So they attempted to unite the two stories to make them similar, but they failed at it because if you read it carefully, you're still going to see the mistakes in it, right? So yes, in the original scrolls that had nothing to do with Christianity, it was two stories because nobody knew which one is true. So no one knew that if God actually commanded Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit, or if God told them that they could eat the fruit. That is why there's two versions of the stories, and they recorded those stories simply for the purpose of recording. But when the writers of the Bible came, just like they did with the character of God, where they changed the names of all those deities and just put it all as God. So you would think that it's the same God because it just says God. But if you read into it, you realize that it's talking about different entities. Same thing in the book of Genesis.
But
Listen,
when you read the Hebrew Bible and it starts to talk about the Elohim, it clearly almost like states these were like seven gods. It wasn't just one, and that is why it's called the Elohims and not just Elohim. But
no, of course, by the time human beings
the
begin to
Bible was
record,
really messed up.
By the time human beings begin to write, there's not just there's not a singular dominant deity, literal among all these entities that were playing the deity game, right? There's not a singular one.
Mm.
Like I said, in fact, you were asking me the difference between Chinese, black people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we have in common. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We were designed and made and engineered
Mm-hmm.
using the same organic material, but with this and the same principle of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
But we all carry the intents and the purposes of the designers that designed us. So we were made to work
Mm-hmm.
anywhere from soldiers to building
Mining
to
gold.
yes to high defense dexterities.
No,
So yes, we were almost how we were
we were
influenced,
built as
how
slaves.
our species. I don't want to say slaves,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
However, human beings came, like I said, it's so old. There's not a living entity that can tell you for sure, right? And there's
Mm.
different human beings. Even in the future, we're gonna engineer like our best when we get there. I don't like saying if we get there because I know we're gonna get there. The AIs that we produce are gonna be almost indistinguishable from a normal human being until you start talking to it. I mean, if you haven't noticed that yet, you're just slow. If you haven't noticed that yet, you're just slow. Everything that we're doing with AI right now, we're just doing their brains. We're just building the brain. So our entire civilization for the last 100 years, we've literally been building the brain of the next entity, the next living sentient entity that will be in this world, visible and active like ourselves. Once the brain is fully developed, then it won't be too hard to build body parts, and the body parts won't be too complicated. And the genetic code of AI is the coding system that we have in our software today, just the same thing as human beings. That's why I said no one really knows the history of human beings because it wasn't done in a day. It was systematic, and it's more ancient than the word ancient. So yes, you can even say that human beings are ancients of days, our species. And it might not have even just been like black people the way you know in the world or white people, but it was humans. And whatever it is that engineered us is just like us. They're designed like us. 5 fingers, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth with a number of teeth, 2 ears. This is the most efficient design for the humus. Like I said, the reason why we are called human being, the word human means walking upright. Now, I want you to look at gorillas. Have you ever seen a gorilla before? Hello, Scarlett. You're muted right now. If you look at the way a gorilla is designed, the gorilla has feet like human hands and has hands like human hands. So the work that a gorilla is designed to do, he's designed to work with all its limbs. The work that those and apes are nerfed. Apes are artificially nerfed. So if apes were like in their natural way, they'll be just like us. No, it's efficient for what they do. Yeah, the way gorillas and chimpanzees are made or like formed. And I want you guys to understand this. The entire process of the human making is an evolutionary process. I always try to tell you guys that evolution doesn't always have to be natural. Evolution can be artificial. So this making that I'm talking about is artificial evolution. It's not a creation. So you're not making something from scratch. You're making something with something. Or you're changing the form of something. So it's an artificial evolution. Natural evolution happens at a slow pace, very slow pace. And artificial evolution has kind of taken over. For a long time ago, artificial evolution took over. So you need to be able to understand that distinction. We're not talking about absolute power here. We're talking about power that's acquired through time and applied through time. Yeah? I don't like to go into this topic. I haven't gotten to the point, right? I probably have another 3 years on TikTok before I can go into just that topic. I want my following and my base to be a group of people. Even if you're still religious, I want you to know where my mind is enough to where you can kind of separate your religious outlook And then I'll show you the world as it is. Like I said, if you have like human attachments, you love your culture, your tradition, your religion, there are just some things in this world that you shouldn't learn. It will just take away your peace of mind because you're not going to change it. So this is knowing for the sake of knowing. What you do with that knowledge, there's really not much you can do. I mean, other than your own peace of mind and how you operate in the world, but you're not going to have peace of mind in the beginning. So if you don't want to learn this shit, you can go back to church and go and let your pastors keep lying to you. That's why I don't discourage you from going to church, right? I'm not discouraging you from doing any of those things. You can do whatever you want to do, but you're living in a dream, and you're going to spend your whole life living that dream until you perish. If that's what you want to do, good for you. Let me bring up other guests. All right, y'all. I do not have too much time, so when I bring you up, I need for you to just go straight to your point. I'm gonna run through all the guests on the guest list. I've been on for going 3 hours now. What's up, Kingsley?
Hello, bro.
Yes, sir. What you got? Go straight to your point, man.
So, I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, what can we say could be the material which was used in making us?
Bro, if you dig deep into the ground and you go deep enough, you'll find organic earth, like living earth. That's like flesh. So the earth that you see on the surface that we live, that's the remains of all living things that have lived before us in this world. It's dead, but it's not necessarily dead. It's like manure. But if you can
Okay.
if you go down, if you start going down, right, you won't reach the end before you reach organic matter. That's what we're really looking for in the ocean. That's what we're looking for. That's what human beings are looking for. Once we have organic matter, I'm telling you. And
So,
we
okay.
cannot reverse engineer. It's gonna take us a long time to reverse engineer organic matter. Just use it. That's why when we're studying the atom, we're breaking down elements to the atomic level. We're trying to understand organic matter. Once we learn how to I don't know if you can really make organic matter. I don't know that, to be honest. But I know it's there. That's how plants grow out of the ground. So plants have a very good mining system. They can draw out organic matter from the deepest level of the soil as far down as you go. And there's some elements that they need to feed themselves to grow. That's why if you grow to grow a healthy plant, the earth must be healthy. What makes the earth healthy is based on how organic it is.
When we talk of organic, we are talking of a specific qualification and quantification of matter, right?
So living flesh, think of living flesh without a brain. Just flesh in a raw state.
No, but the brain is made up of flesh.
That's what I'm saying. But the brain is a mechanism. It's not just a lump
Yeah,
of flesh. I'm talking about like a
yeah.
lump of flesh, like clay. You can form it. And then if you run certain electrical signals around it, you can make it do what you want it to do. That's why we have a neurological system. Look, do you see how a human being is? A human being is like a house. When you build a house, you first of all put the frame. Then you make the bones out of certain elements. Then you use the flesh to make the organs. It's all metallic.
Yes.
Human beings were made of metal. All the elements that is made of the human skin is metal. It's metal. Just like a car. Your car is metal, but that metal is not organic. That's why we treat it with heat.
So, to be concrete here, if we are made up of metallic substances, these metallic substances electrified by any means
No, they're conductors. They can conduct. But
Yes.
if you wanted to take the form of
They
an
can conduct
entity,
electricity
yes, if you
because
want to, if you want to make it change form, you have to electrify it with signals that carry information.
yeah.
You know what I'm telling you?
And
It's listen.
and
there's an old form of science, right? That they don't teach in school anymore. It's called alchemy and transmutation. It's literally transmutation. So if you
yeah.
understand the science of transmutation, you understand what I'm talking about.
I mean, okay. I know we are electrical beings, and we are not just electrical beings. We are also electromagnetic beings. We have magnetic fields
Yeah, but
in
that's not
us.
impressive. That's not impressive. You're right, but it's not impressive. It's natural to understand that.
Yeah, but not everybody understands it because when I study from myself, right? There are certain people where they try to come towards me or they try to come beside me. I feel like they repel. I am repelled from the person, which
I
means
know.
our frequency.
It's
Yeah,
because you and that
and
person don't.
certain person when they try to come towards me, I am attracted to the person, which means
Yes,
we have
it's
magnetic fields around us.
it's not necessarily just
And
magnetic. It's not just magnetic fields, but you're correct. In the ancient culture, they call it in a different way, right? Like your body can convert the food and the water that you drink into different forms of energy. And in the Asian cultures, some of them they call it chakra. Like your stomach is a machine. It generates a different type of energy than your heart. It also like the byproduct, right? The heat that comes out of it, it's a different type of energy. The same thing with your lungs. Right? As they're moving, they're generating different types of heat. So when you're transpirating and sweat is coming out of your body, that's all that heat that is coming out. They like to call it the aura, but it's just the different types of energy. And if you know how to use your human body, you can recycle that energy and use it for different purposes. Athletes learn how to do that without even know what they're doing. So a person who can run for long distances, he learns how to channel those different energies within his body and those different forms of energy and reuse it. But most of us we just sweat it out. It just comes out. Now there's a saying that you know what? Let's not even talk about that.
yeah, okay. I have a point to mention here.
Hold on,
I was born.
I'm gonna bring up the next guest. I'm gonna step away for 1 minute. You guys shoot. I'm not trying to get blocked. Listen, the last time that I came on TikTok, listen, TikTok blocks me all the time, okay? There are some things that I already know. Like literally, it has nothing to do against TikTok's community guidelines, but they'll just block you. So it's not even like what I'm saying is offensive to anyone. They just block you. So you can't just talk about whatever on TikTok. Hey, Greeker,
Hello.
say what you got to say, bro. I'll be back in a minute.
Kriko, did you want to say something?
Yes.
What's your topic of contention?
I want to speak about what we can see with our senses. My English is not very good, sorry, but you understand? Our sense.
I get you so far, but the host is in the host is within the limits of you as a guest always being in control of the language you want to use, so the communication can be understandable. You understand? So if you think you are not good in English, which is the language we are using here, but you can use the words as good as possible so you are understood, it's no problem.
Yes. So yes, I want to speak about what we can see in this world, what we can confirm, you understand, and something mystery behind, or something we can't see. And what I want to speak with Bakanga is what we can't see, what we are not able to see, Uh, and my question is about confirming that there is no God, for example, because if we can't see what we can, if we can see something, how we can confirm there is no existence.
Wait. Is the language you master French?
Yes.
Ok. Ce que nous ne pouvons pas voir et ce que nous pouvons voir et confirmer, n'est-ce pas?
Et confirmer aujourd'hui, tu veux
Oui.
dire?
Et qu'est-ce que tu veux dire par là?
Je veux dire que il y a des choses que nous ne pouvons pas percevoir. On découvre des choses. Avec l'évolution de l'humanité, on découvre de plus en plus de choses, d'accord? Avec la quantique, etc.
Oui.
Mais il y a des choses qu'on n'a pas encore découvertes.
Oui.
Ce que je veux dire par là, c'est qu'il y a des choses qu'on n'a pas encore découvertes et qu'il y a...
Mais nous avons déjà la capacité de les découvrir.
Mais
Nous avons
comment
la
tu...
capacité. Nous avons la capacité et nous avons toujours l'intention de rechercher et d'ouvrir pour que des nouvelles idées sortent, n'est-ce pas?
Oui.
Oui.
Oui. Moi, je dis juste qu'on découvre de nouvelles choses
Oui.
et que, par exemple, sur l'existence de Dieu ou sur la vie après la mort, ce que nous pouvons voir aujourd'hui, ce que nous pouvons voir avec tous les éléments, toutes les technologies que nous avons, pour moi, c'est pas suffisant pour confirmer quelque chose sur Dieu ou sur la vie après la mort, que ce soit dans un sens ou dans un autre. Et là, ma question qui va arriver pour Bakanga, c'est lui, il arrive à confirmer. Il confirme que Dieu n'existe pas et il confirme qu'il n'y a pas de vie après la mort. Et voilà, c'est là où j'ai un peu du mal à, tu vois, à accepter ça. Je sais pas si
Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire par Dieu, par le mot Dieu? Est-ce que tu penses que...
disons, une force.
Hypothèse. Attends. Est-ce que tu penses que...
Excuse me for 1 second. J'ai compris que tu es en train de parler en français. Gricol.
Pardon?
Donc, tu peux pas t'exprimer en anglais?
Yes, a little bit, but better in French. But how the Kingsley offered me to speak in French, so it's easier for me.
I just offered it to you because the host Bakanga was not around, but he is he always likes us expressing ourselves in English. So it was just while he was away, I initiated the conversation in French. So if you can speak in English now with Bakanga, it's okay.
No,
Yes, so
it's not too bad, right? It's okay. Si tu t'exprimes très bien en français, exprime-toi en français, mais quand tu finis d'exprimer en français, il faut qu'on traduise en anglais. J'ai seulement l'intention de te comprendre, donc il faut que tu t'exprimes dans la langue que tu t'exprimes le plus bien.
D'accord, okay.
So,
Merci.
Hey Kingsley.
Yes.
To stay consistent with the show, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming, man. Let me handle this guy one by one. That way I don't get too carried away. Thank you now, Takam. Chekamune, Takam.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Takam.
Yes, I'm Cameroonian, bro. Are you doubting me? You did.
No,
you did
I'm not doubting it. J'ai vu ton nom, non.
Wait, when you hear my accent, you no go understand. Say me, I be.
No, not just your accent, even your own name. So Takem, as well, I don't see your name, so I don't say you come on Cameroon. No.
I be Limbe Pikin.
Okay, no problem.
They born me for Limbe. I be Wata. I be Mami Wata Pikin.
No problem, no Takem. Some problem. No problem, bro. I hear you know. My talk for the guy one-on-one, and then
Yes.
and I will continue your show. But not your first time you don't come up here, no. Cause I remember.
I don't come here. I don't be here one time.
We don't talk before.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, my brother, I salute now.
Thank you.
No problem. Hey, Gricol.
Yeah, yes.
Toi,
Donc je parle en français.
Tu viens d'où?
Yeah.
Je viens
Tu peux
de
parler
France.
Je parle en français.
La France, c'est ton pays natal?
Oui, oui, c'est ça.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me. I want him to tell me what he wants to say in French, then we're going to continue in English, so it shouldn't take too long. Agricole, dis-moi, tu veux parler de
Oui,
quoi?
voilà. En fait, je suis d'accord. Enfin, tu vois, je t'écoute depuis quelques jours et je suis assez d'accord avec beaucoup de choses que tu dis. Il y a des choses où ça bloque un peu pour moi. Et sur l'existence, par exemple, sur l'existence de Dieu ou sur la vie après la mort.
Ah, ok.
Pour moi, euh, donc, pour moi, on n'a pas la capacité, on n'a pas la capacité de pouvoir confirmer. Et moi, là où je veux te poser la question, c'est comment tu arrives à toi à confirmer qu'il n'y a pas de Dieu et à confirmer qu'il n'y a pas la vie après la mort. Tu vois, parce que tu parles souvent de ce qu'on peut percevoir avec nos sens et nos
Ouais,
capacités et notre
ouais.
technologie, etc. Donc on peut percevoir les choses avec nos sens, mais il y a des choses qu'on ne peut pas ou qu'on n'a pas encore pu percevoir. Peut-être dans le futur, peut-être dans 100 ans, peut-être dans 200 ans ou dans 1000 ans, on va
Ouais.
découvrir de nouvelles choses. On va pouvoir avoir de nouvelles informations. Aujourd'hui, avec les informations que nous avons et avec nos sens, pour moi, personnellement, je pense qu'on ne peut pas aller dans un sens ou dans un autre sur l'existence de Dieu ou sur la vie après la mort. C'est des choses qui nous dépassent en fait, encore. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Et toi,
Oh,
moi,
je
ma
te comprends.
question,
Je
voilà,
comprends
ouais.
bien ta
You
question. Je
can't,
comprends ta question.
in a nutshell, you can't confirm what you don't know. That's what he is saying. But we have different differentials. We humans have different differentials, and my potential can never be your potential. So
let me
you
put
can
his
continue.
question. Let me put his question in a way that people. So, ladies and gentlemen, what he said was that as far as it concerns the existence of God, and as far as it concerns life after death, he's of the opinion that that's not something that we human beings can confirm per se, to
Yeah.
where we can exactly say that God does not exist or that we can say that there's no life after death. So he was asking me directly, how is it that I can then say for sure, with absolute certainty, that there is no God or that there is no life after death? Because he's of the opinion that we don't yet know. Maybe in 100 years we would know as our science and technology improves, or maybe in 200 years. But as of right now, he doesn't think that anyone should be able to say with definitive and absolute certainty that there is no God or no life after death. Et Gricor, moi je dis qu'il n'y a pas Dieu et il n'y a pas de la vie après la mort. Il y a deux petites raisons pour laquelle. Donc, c'est quoi Dieu? Quand quelqu'un dit Dieu, il faut bien étudier l'histoire des humains, n'est-ce pas? Tu sais, l'affaire de Dieu n'avait pas commencé avec un seul Dieu. Chacun avait son propre Dieu. Il ne faut pas ignorer le fait là. Donc, demande pas pourquoi est-ce que tout le monde avait son propre Dieu? Et comment est-ce que nous sommes quittés du temps où tout le monde avait son Dieu jusqu'au nouveau là où quand on dit Dieu, tout le monde, on pense seulement que nous sommes en train de parler d'un seul Dieu. Parce que Dieu, en effet, ce n'est pas une seule chose. Ce n'est pas seulement un seul Dieu. Le Dieu des musulmans, ce n'est pas le Dieu des chrétiens. Donc, si on va affirmer que Dieu existe, mais c'est quel Dieu qui existe? Et là, si Dieu existe, c'est possible qu'il y a plus de deux dieux. Donc, il y a plusieurs questions qu'il faut te demander et il faut bien penser, il faut bien analyser et tu vas voir que comme les choses comme les Superman, les Spider-Man, les êtres humains ont la capacité de créer des choses et des idées dans leur tête qui leur donnent le sens de ce qu'ils pensent que se passe dans la nature. Mais en vérité, ce sont seulement les choses imaginaires. Dans le monde naturel, est-ce qu'on peut bien observer le travail d'un Dieu? On n'observe pas un Dieu qui est en train de travailler. Ce qu'on observe, ce sont des phénomènes naturels, surtout avec des forces puissantes. Le plus puissant que tu as une force, le peu son intelligence. Donc les forces comme la force de l'eau, la force de l'air, le feu et même la terre, ce sont des choses immenses et très puissantes, mais ils n'ont pas des intelligences, tu vois. Ce sont des pouvoirs que chacun a son pouvoir et chacun a sa faiblesse. Donc là, alors, quand les hommes commencent à parler de Dieu, c'est toujours le mot poétique. C'est là que moi, je peux bien dire que Dieu n'existe pas, parce que Dieu, c'est quelque chose, c'est une idée que les humains ont créée dans leur tête. Donc, comment est-ce que Dieu peut exister naturellement? Si Dieu existait naturellement, chacun aurait eu l'opportunité d'observer et on ne va pas discuter du fait que Dieu existe. Comme le soleil. Le soleil est dans... on regarde et on voit le soleil, mais est-ce qu'on discute de l'existence du soleil? Comme l'eau. L'eau est puissante et l'eau est nécessaire pour la vie. Est-ce qu'on discute par rapport à l'existence de l'eau? Il y a plusieurs choses comme ça dans nos vies où on observe et on voit. Peut-être qu'on a même des idées différentes, mais on ne discute pas de son existence. Et pertenant à la vie après la mort, c'est même dans la définition de la vie. La vie, c'est quelque chose qui se passe avant la mort. La mort veut dire la fin de la vie. Comment est-ce que tu peux avoir la vie après la mort? Si tu peux avoir la vie après la mort, dont la mort, ce n'est pas la mort. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on appelle ça la mort alors? Et c'est quoi les choses nécessaires pour avoir la vie? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut pour avoir la vie? Il faut un système naturel. On a besoin de certaines choses. Comme un être humain, non. Tu ne peux pas être humain sans une tête et un cerveau, ou sans ton cœur, ou tes poumons, même ton ventre. La structure de l'humain est nécessaire pour rendre l'humain un être vivant. Même chose avec tous les animaux et même les plantes. Donc, si tu coupes la tête d'un humain, ce n'est plus un être vivant. Et là, il n'existe plus. Tu peux pas me dire que tu coupes la tête de quelqu'un et il continue à vivre. Mais c'est quoi la vie? C'est nécessaire de dire que la vie, c'est une chose qui est bien construite dans la nature, dans des formes spécifiques. Je ne sais pas si ce que je viens de dire est sensible. Mais il faut que je dise en anglais, ok? Ladies and gentlemen, what I said to him was, as far as the existence of God, there are too many questions we need to answer. And when you observe the way human beings have had God over the years, it's not as though there is one God. This whole God business did not begin with the idea of one God. It began with every man had his own God. And if every man has his own God, at what point did it go from everyone having his own God to now we only have one God? So we arguing about only one God, we're doing ourselves a disfavor. We ought to go from God to God to God to God and disprove all of them. Because the people who claim that there's only one God never did that. They use imperialism and military power to impose their one God belief on everybody else. But that does not neutralize all the existences of all the previous gods. When you observe how human beings interact with the idea of God, you will notice that gods are ideas that every man is allowed to conjure up one in his own mind. Chacun fabrique l'idée de Dieu dans sa tête. Everyone creates their own God in their own head because God is a man-made idea. Don't naturally, you don't have a God. What you do have is many ideas of God as conjured up by human beings based on their experiences. Hence, we can definitively say there is no God because within the natural world, there is no God. Now, if you go into the unnatural world, into the world of ideologies, you have many gods. Human beings think up of many of them. Now, also, you look at the issue of life after death. Life after death is an issue that is so easily solved. What is life? Life is what happens before death. How can you then have life after death? If you can have life after death, then death is not real. Period. That's it. So if life comes after death, explain to me how a non-living thing, because a non-living thing is a thing that is dead, right? Now becomes a living thing. You have to do that
Bro,
because. Go ahead.
bro, yeah, I just wanted to jot in something here. With the people who came up with the idea of God, I think because they are just humans like us, I think they were trying to do some ideological channeling of energy.
Brother, that's in a
We
nutshell.
live
That's in a
we
nutshell what I
live
said,
with
right?
energy. We live with energy, and energy enables us to think. And while thinking, we come up with ideas, and we channel the ideas to bring it together in one way or the other so we can create a sense.
In a
So it is,
nutshell,
for me, yeah, in a nutshell, the
in a
channeling
nutshell,
of idea to give it a structure and give it an image. That's how they came about the concept of God. So it shouldn't get us confused because it's just an idea. I say God, greatest on different dimensions, or greatness on different dimensions. So it should not be anything so special that people will be hitting their heads with it for centuries. Because we have much more important things to think about, bro. That's what I wanted to jot in. You guys can continue.
Yeah, no problem, Takam. Like I said, bro, let me handle this guy one by one. Man, what you have said is not wrong. You pretty much just said what I said in different words, right? So to avoid
Yeah.
redundancy, you're correct. You didn't say anything wrong. It's just an idea fundamentally. Now you can go into the details of how it's an idea. It's still an idea. Now, Gricol, what do you have to
Yes.
say? What do you have to say about what I
Okay.
say? And say it in
Donc,
English, even if you're not good. That way, everyone can get it.
okay, and I want to say you can respond me in English. Understand most of your explanation if you respond to me, okay? So, comment dire? I will speak in French, but short.
If you don't know how to say it in English, just say that one word in French, and I will get it, and then you can continue in English.
Donc tu décris le monde, donc tu décris un peu le monde qu'on peut percevoir. Donc
So
avec les croyances,
I'm describing the world that we can see, yeah.
les croyances en Dieu, ce qui nous semble un peu déviant aussi, avec chacun imaginant sa propre histoire sur Dieu.
Everybody imagines their own story on God.
Cela n'enlève pas la possibilité ou l'hypothèse qu'il y ait quelque chose qui ne soit peut-être pas décrit ou peut-être un petit peu décrit derrière tout ça.
So he says that doesn't remove the possibility that there could be something that is not described or something godlike, pretty much. That's what you're saying, right, Gricor?
Oui, yes. So you don't think if I give you an hypothèse, je te donne une hypothèse.
Yeah,
Je
a
te dis,
hypothesis.
yes, I give you an hypothesis. Behind this world that we can see, that we can analyze, there is something more powerful. Only this hypothesis for you. It is possible.
No. It's not just a hypothesis. I already told you. It's not necessarily more powerful, right? Because is the Pope more powerful than me? No. But the Pope is more powerful than me in another sense, in the sense that he has more information and more influence than I do. But one-on-one doesn't make the Pope more powerful than me. No. If you put the Pope in front of me, I'll whoop his ass, right? If you put Joe Biden in front of me, for sure, I'll whoop his ass. Donc, quand tu parles de pouvoir, c'est de quel niveau? Tu vois, c'est dans le niveau de l'influence ou c'est dans le niveau de la force physique? Ou un à un, n'est-ce pas? So if you're talking about the hypothesis that there is a more powerful being out there, is it possible that there's a more physical, powerful being than humans? Yeah. Have you ever fought an elephant before? Mais un éléphant est plus puissant qu'un homme, n'est-ce pas? Même le lion va manger un homme. Même le loup, tu vois. So it depends on what you're talking about. But in terms of this superior being, un Dieu tout puissant, là, ça n'existe pas. L'idée de quelqu'un qui est tout puissant n'existe pas parce qu'on voit des erreurs. Quelqu'un qui est tout puissant ne peut pas faire des erreurs. Pourquoi est-ce qu'il y a les enfants qui sont nés avec certaines maladies? Tu vois, cancer. Tu crois que il fait ça intentionally? You think he does it? Tu crois qu'il fait ça en sachant que, ok, je vais créer des enfants avec le cancer pour que les humains vont deviner si j'existe? Non,
je comprends.
Le sida, les enfants sont nés avec le sida. Tu vois, ce sont des petites erreurs comme ça qui nous font comprendre que il n'y a aucun être tout puissant.
Cela, ouais, mais disons que nous, on perçoit l'imperfection, les imperfections ou les choses qui sont pas très bien faites dans ce monde, d'accord?
On n'appelle même pas ça
l'imperfection. Mais cela, pour moi,
n'appelle même pas ça l'imperfection parce que la perfection n'existe pas aussi. Tout est en évolution. La perfection n'existe pas. On dit perfection is a tangent. It's tangential. You always think you are going towards it. But when you try to calculate it, you don't get to the point.
So in order for you to have la perfection, it has to be within the boundaries of...
I don't speak about perfection. Je parle pas, I don't speak about perfection. Imagine, I give you hypothesis. Like a computer, you make application, this is not perfect, okay? That not impossible, It's only hypothesis, but I want to say to you, this is something is possible or not possible. But if we can see it, or if we can't, for me, it's not possible to confirm it.
Okay,
Even
okay,
if
let
it's
let me ask you a
crazy
question.
story,
Let me ask you a question. Est-il possible que tu as tué une femme? Is it possible that
non,
is it possible that you're a woman?
non,
Donc,
je crois pas.
il y a certaines choses que nous pouvons confirmer. Là, il faut seulement établir en un seul cas qu'il y a un moyen de confirmer des choses. C'est pour ça que dans les lois de la logique, quelque chose comme une contradiction ne peut pas exister. Tu ne peux pas être quelque chose et être l'envers le même temps, tu vois. Je ne peux pas marcher à gauche et à droite à la même temps. Je ne peux pas partir en haut et en bas à la même temps. Donc, nous avons des moyens pour confirmer les choses. We have ways of confirming things. Nous pouvons confirmer qu'il n'y a pas une existence tout-puissant parce que nous voyons le travail qui nous suggère que le pouvoir tout-puissant n'a pas tout le contrôle. Comme l'ordinateur, tu vois. Dans les
Mais
programmes,
imaginons,
oui, dans l'ordinateur, il y a certaines erreurs. L'ordinateur n'est pas parfait. Donc, les créateurs des ordinateurs ne sont pas des êtres puissants, tout puissants. Ils peuvent être puissants, mais pas tout puissants. Tu vois. So, the creator of a computer is not almighty. The creator of a computer is mighty. Yes, he's done a great work, but he's not almighty because we see mistakes. C'est là,
He's
alors,
also improving.
maybe we
He's
can
also
relate this
improving
to
on
the
his
world.
work.
Maybe we can. Maybe we
Eventually, he's improving. He thinks about what he.
avec le temps, yeah, like you said, that's why evolution is, right? That's why they say it's not God, it's evolution. Et c'est pour ça que moi, je dis aussi l'hypothèse que l'évolution peut être naturelle et artificielle. Donc, ce qu'on appelle la technologie, c'est un genre d'évolution artificielle. Evolution can be natural or artificial. And everything that we say is creation is actually just artificial evolution. Because as long as it's being caused by natural beings, whatever they do is according to their nature. It's natural. It's an evolution. The world came about through an evolution. Changes of different types with different causes throughout time.
Can I tell him something? Can I tell him something?
Say something, Kingsley, and then I'll bring up the next guest, Kingsley. But this is your last
Yeah,
go ahead.
Crico. Quand tu dis qu'il y a un être tout puissant, ça veut dire que derrière cet être-là, il y a un autre être puissant. Et ainsi de suite. When you say there is somebody powerful, some creator powerful, it's going to imply behind that creator powerful, there is also another creator who is powerful, and so on and so forth.
Donc là, alors, tu as une évolution.
So there is no in that wise, there is no all powerful, because there is always some power behind a power. You understand? It's just logic.
And also, yes. God cannot be all powerful because the devil exists, right? Within that mind frame, within that idea. Dieu n'a pas cessé l'existence du diable. Comment est-ce que le diable a la puissance de faire ce qu'il veut? Parce qu'il n'y a pas un tout puissant.
If I give you this hypothesis, God, imagine, God is not all powerful. Imagine God have flaw itself. It's not perfect as we can speak or as we can see. It is a little bit like this world. It make the world. It is hypothesis. Can you accept this hypothesis?
Well, of course. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you.
What? Yes.
That's what I've been saying. What I've been saying to you is that there's no gods, because for a God to be a God, you need to be almighty and all powerful. But you can have powerful beings. Là, ce n'est pas impossible. Yeah, of course. It's not. No one is arguing against if you could have powerful beings. Even among ourselves, human beings, we don't wield the same level of influence and power. So yes, ce n'est pas une discussion. Si tu me dis que est-ce qu'il y a des êtres puissants, bien sûr, là il n'y a pas de discussion. Mais quelqu'un qui est tout puissant, qui par lui-même, toute seule, il a créé tout. Mais là, ce sont des mensonges.
Mais imaginons qu'il est un peu comme un humain et qu'il a des défauts. Là, je te parle d'hypothèse.
Voilà la raison pour laquelle, si tu étudies l'histoire des Grecs et les Romains et même des Vikings, tu vas voir que tous les dieux ont des qualités humaines. Même le Dieu des Juifs, il a dit, je suis un Dieu jaloux. Mais la jalousie, ce sont des émotions humaines. Là, on ne discute pas. Mais ils ne sont pas des dieux. Si tu as des faiblesses, tu n'es pas Dieu. Pourquoi est-ce que moi, il faut que je te loue? À cause de quoi? Est-ce que I don't worship my government, but my
Non,
government has
mais
more power
après,
than I do.
je parle pas de la manière dont les humains, comment dire, ont la relation avec Dieu, etc. Je parle d'une hypothèse où il y aurait une force créatrice qui aurait créé un monde qu'il est tel qu'il est, imparfait, avec du bordel, avec des
Pas
mystères.
soi-même, pas soi-même.
Je sais pas de quelle manière il aurait fait ça, mais il
Et
aurait
là,
engendré.
oui, si ce que tu viens de
C'est une
dire n'est pas
hypothèse en fait,
impossible.
c'est juste
Oui,
une hypothèse qui est
oui,
possible
non,
ou pas
non,
possible.
non.
Mais
Là, c'est la réalité. Ce que tu viens de dire, ce n'est pas seulement une hypothèse. Là, c'est la vérité. Voilà ce qu'on voit dans le
Rico,
monde. Le monde a
Rico, est-ce
été,
que,
le monde a été
Rico, est-ce que
formé
tu es religieux?
naturellement.
pardon?
Est-ce que tu es religieux?
Non, 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 non. Moi, je suis très agnostique. C'est-à-dire que j'ai du mal à confirmer. C'est pour ça que je dis, j'ai du mal à confirmer qu'il n'y a pas de Dieu. Parce que je sais pas derrière, en fait, le mystère, qu'est-ce qui se cache. Même si tu peux décrire le monde, tu peux dire que vraiment, les croyances en Dieu, c'est vraiment particulier, que ça fait pas du bien aux humains, que les humains essayent de combler un vide avec le mystère, avec Dieu, avec des croyances en Dieu, en religion, avec les religions, etc. Mais toujours est-il que derrière ce monde et derrière la quantique, il y a un mystère quand même. Enfin,
Et
c'est assez mystérieux, mais je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'il y a
Grégor,
derrière.
quelle est la philosophie agnostique?
Non, n'entrons pas dans ça parce que j'ai pas beaucoup le temps. Je vous remercie tous les
Ok.
deux. Ok, merci
C'est simple.
beaucoup. Mais pour dire
Ouais.
finalement, Grégor, pourquoi est-ce que tu te laisses souffrir avec un fardeau très lourd, comme quelque chose de rester et te demander que nous ne pouvons pas confirmer si Dieu existe? Mais comment est-ce qu'on confirme les choses? Comment est-ce que tu as confirmé que tu es un homme? Comment est-ce que tu as confirmé que tu n'es pas africain? Comment est-ce que tu as confirmé que tu n'es pas américain? Comment est-ce que tu as confirmé que tu n'es pas un singe? C'est de cette même façon qu'on confirme des choses. Si nous ne pouvons pas confirmer, là alors tu ne peux rien confirmer dans la vie. Donc tu es en train de vivre une vie sans sens, même dans le moment. Parce que la sens ne se trouve pas dans la vie, mais tu peux trouver la sens dans chaque moment. Seulement en sachant ce que tu vois, ce que tu observes, et en comprenant ce qu'il faut faire. Tu vois, là si tu ne comprends pas, tu es perdu. Pourquoi est-ce que tu te donnes un fardeau très lourd comme ça? Moi, je ne comprends pas. Voilà la
Je
raison pour
comprends.
laquelle je parle aux gens. Il faut être facile
Oui.
avec ta vie. Il faut être doux.
Je comprends, mais là on parle de Dieu. Et pour moi, juste, je sais que je comprends ce que tu veux dire et je trouve que la croyance en Dieu, c'est pas nécessaire et souvent, ça, en fait, tout ce qui est spirituel ou tout ce qui nous éloigne il y a beaucoup de choses qui nous éloignent, en fait, de notre vie et de ce qui est essentiel pour notre vie. Et les croyances, tout ça, ça en fait partie. Des fois, on s'éloigne de notre vie et de l'importance et de
Exactement.
l'essentiel, en fait. Voilà, de l'essentiel.
Surtout quand il y a la souffrance.
Je suis
Mais
d'accord
merci
avec
beaucoup.
toi.
Merci beaucoup,
Je-
Nicole. Je
Voilà,
t'apprécie,
juste,
ok?
ouais, pas de souci.
Ouais,
Merci beaucoup, en tout cas.
ouais.
Merci. Ciao, ciao.
À tout à l'heure.
À plus tard.
Ibrahim, what do you have for me? I could barely hear you, Ibrahim. What you got?
Your question is God is an imaginary character. Why should humans believe in God? So which one is it? Which one are you confused about?
Bro, your mic is kind of like, you sound like you're talking to me from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Can you fix your mic?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Now go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I'm saying that you said your topic is God is an imaginary character. Why should human believe in God? Yeah.
Yeah, those are questions I'm asking you.
So do you believe in God?
No.
So, but why you say God is an imaginary character? Why should we human believe in God? Why can't you just say God is an imaginary character? Then leave out why should human believe in God?
Because humans don't have any reason to believe in God. Believing in God doesn't change your life. It doesn't change the fact that you were born and you will die. It doesn't change the fact that you suffer every day and you have to solve your problems like everybody else using logic and rational thinking. Your belief in God is absolutely useless. Your belief in God doesn't contribute to make your life easy at all. It just makes you ignore reality. Believing God has never made one man better than another. He's never changed anything in a man's life to make that man significantly better than another. You can believe in a tree, you get the same results. You can believe in a dog, you can believe in Superman, you get the same results. That's why I said, why do we need to believe in God?
Who created the earth?
The earth wasn't created. And knowing who created the earth doesn't prove that God exists either. And just because you don't know doesn't mean you have to assume. That's just an uneducated way of going about things.
But how did it come about then?
Well, if you get a time machine, you'll be able to find out, because I don't know how it came about, but I know that it came about naturally.
Naturally.
We can see how it keeps on changing naturally. There's no need to assume that its
So
advent
you
wasn't
mean,
natural.
so you mean if tomorrow, let's say tonight you sleep and tomorrow something appears in your yard. What I mean is, some just see in the morning, you just see something out of naturally. Did it come by natural, or it come by chance, or someone brought it there?
Well, if I
Is that what
get
you're
up in
telling
the
me?
if I get up in the morning and I see something, I must be on drugs, because nothing just gets there like that. Like I said, you're correct. But no one is saying that it just got here like that. Even nature itself doesn't just get here like that. But it doesn't mean that it came from a God.
Exactly. Who
Because I can
created
ask
it?
you a question. I can
Who
ask you a
created?
question. Listen,
Who
listen,
created
listen,
nature?
listen.
Yeah.
Nature wasn't created. That's the whole point. Nature just is the effect of things as they happen, as they interact with each other, without any specific intent or any specific initiator. Because are you telling me that you don't think that something could just come out of nowhere?
But can't you see the trees are growing up
I get it. I
under the soil?
understand. I understand what you mean. But I'm asking you, are you saying to me that you don't think that it's possible that the earth just came out of nothing?
No, it
And you
didn't
don't
just
think
come about, but
you don't think that you
someone
don't
created the earth.
Okay, good. So is that what you think about everything?
Exactly.
Okay, where did God come from?
Like you,
Where did God come from?
like you.
Where did God come from?
No one created God. God
Okay,
created
okay,
himself.
okay, good. The earth
Actually, he didn't create himself. He was just there.
yeah. Guess what, bro? The earth was just there. The earth was just there. Good job. You think you have accomplished nothing? If you cannot change the rules when it comes to your God. But when we're talking about the earth that's always been here, do you know any human being that knows where the earth came from? No, it's just been there, just like your God. You're just taking what happened to the earth and giving it to your God. It's just been there. Nobody created it.
All right,
You,
listen. What's more powerful between earth and God?
doesn't matter. I've never seen God, so the earth is more powerful.
So have you seen the earth?
Yeah, I've seen the earth every day. I see plants grow out of the earth. I see human beings go when they die, and I see the earth fight with the ocean every day, and it wins because the ocean doesn't blow it away. The earth is more powerful than God. The only God I ever heard of is the one that religious people talk about. But when a religious person is not talking, God is nowhere.
Can't you see that every day human beings have been born, bro?
Yeah, it's just part of the natural phenomenon.
Human beings have been born.
It's just part of the natural phenomenon, bro. It's just that's how natural things work. We're born, we die, we keep on going.
Natural.
Yeah.
Natural.
You see, it's not that complicated. You just need to eliminate the idea of God in your head. Whatever you think of God, just think
No,
of that about the earth. If you don't think
no,
that God came from,
nature.
if you don't think that God came from anywhere, then why does anything have to come from anywhere?
No, what I mean, who created nature? You understand what I mean?
Nature
Did it
wasn't
just come about, or someone created nature?
it just came
You're
about.
talking about nature. Who created nature?
Nature simply means things as they are. No one created
It just came
anything.
about.
That's how it's always been.
So, but you have been created. You come from your belly, the belly of your mother.
That's
You
not
are
a
created.
that's not a
Why don't you
creation.
just come? Why don't you just come about? Because you're from nature.
I just came about because before my father and my mother did the holy dance under the plantain tree, I did not exist. So I just came about.
You
It
just
might
came
be
about.
yes,
What
it
do you
might be
mean?
how things come about might be a slow process, but they still just come about. See, your problem is that you don't understand the process aspect of nature, right? The way nature works, things just come about. For example, you, brother, do you have children?
Yes, I do have children.
How many children do you have?
No, I do have children.
How many do you have?
No. I have children.
Yeah,
How
I
many?
know,
It's not a
I know.
problem.
No, no, no. I need to know how
How
many
many?
to ask my question. I need to know how many to
No,
ask
no,
my
no,
question.
no, bro. I'm just, I have children. Let's talk about that. I have children. How
Brother,
many? It's not
brother.
a problem. You see?
I'm not saying that it's a problem. I just want to know how many children you have so I can ask my question.
No, no. Just, I told you I have children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I know that you said that you have children. That's good. Now I want to know how many you have so I can ask my question. It's
Okay.
not
One. I have one.
okay. What's the name of your seventh child?
My what?
Your seventh child.
My seventh.
Yeah, what's the name?
No, I have only one child.
Hold up. Are you saying that your seventh child doesn't exist?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. That's how you know. Now, if you and your wife do that thing, you can have 7 children, and then your seventh child would
Did he?
exist. So your seventh child,
Did he just come? Listen, did he just come about, or we made him?
no, he just came about because he's nowhere right now. Is your seventh child anywhere right now? Where's your seventh child right now?
Exactly, he's not here.
Exactly. If he's not
Exactly,
here, if he's not here, where is he?
he's in God. He's at God,
Wow. What's his name? Is
not
it a
in
boy?
nature.
Oh,
Not in nature.
so hold up. So your seventh child is with God right now?
Yeah, God decides
Well,
what to give me, male or female.
hold on. What's his name?
It's me. I can give him now, right now. It's up to me if I can give my own child.
So
You
you
understand what I'm
think?
saying?
So hold on. So you think you have a seventh child who's with God right now?
It depends on God if I want to have 7 children.
Bro, are you saying that
Not
you have a
nature.
seven? No, bro. Are you saying that right now, as we speak, you have a seventh child who is with God right now?
Listen, man. Listen.
Just answer the question, bro. Because we know you
Listen.
don't have a seventh child, but you're saying that that seventh child is with
Listen.
God, right?
Listen. What I'm trying to tell you is that it depends on God if you will have 7 children. It depends on God, not you, not nature, because nature was created by God.
It doesn't change the fact that your seventh child does not exist right now. You don't have a
It
seventh child.
doesn't exist.
Yes, it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist
Okay, so
because
how
it's
come?
not He.
Oh, hold up. It doesn't exist,
Yeah.
but it's with God. That means that God doesn't exist. If something that doesn't exist is with God, that means God doesn't exist. Use your brain. Because if God exists, then your seventh child is with God. That seventh child must exist.
Listen, you have to believe in the unseen. You understand what I'm saying? You
Is
have
it
to
possible?
believe in the unseen.
Is it okay? Let me ask you something. Are you a woman?
I'm a male
How do you know you're a man?
by the organs
How do you know you have organs?
because I can see them.
Okay, you are really a woman, and your female organs, you can't see them. You must believe in the unseen. I'll start calling you ma'am. You must believe in the unseen because you have
Let
female
me tell you
organs that you
something.
don't know. No, bro. You said to me to believe in the unseen, right? So you must
No,
believe that you're a
let me
woman
tell you
because
something.
just because you cannot see your female organs doesn't mean you're not a woman.
Let me tell you
You,
something. Once you start, let me tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something. The example you are giving me is far more way than God's imagination.
it's the same thing. It's the same
Yeah,
thing. You don't
you have to.
you don't understand that you telling me that
You
God exists because God is unseen, and yet you're making up with your imagination. I can imagine anything and tell you that it's real just because you cannot see it. Just because you cannot see your female organs doesn't mean you're not
listen.
a female.
That's like I said. God doesn't have to come here to prove to you that, hey,
You don't
listen, I exist,
you
because
don't have
there are signs here.
you don't have to
There
you
are
don't have to
signs that
see
He's giving you.
you don't have to see your female organs to know that you're a woman. You are really a woman.
Listen, there are signs that He's giving you. Trees
What
are being grown. I mean,
trees
animals are there, mountains are there,
trees
seas are
growing
there.
trees growing can be the signs of anything. It doesn't have to be the signs of God. It could be the signs that aliens came and made it. It doesn't have to do anything with God. Just like when you poop out of your
Man,
buttocks, God does not make the poop that comes out of your buttocks. Your buttocks makes it. Your stomach makes it, right? So just because there's something here doesn't mean it's God. You cannot just assume that it was God. Did you see God? Did you see God putting the plants here? You didn't see it. You're just making it up in your head. You are just making it up in your
because
head, bro.
he said it in the Bible. He says, I'm powerful, I'm capable of doing anything.
You saw God writing the Bible?
Man, listen,
Did you see
listen
God
to me.
writing? Did you see God writing the
Listen
Bible,
to me.
bro?
Where did the Bible come from then?
Somebody wrote it. A human being wrote the Bible.
So that's someone who wrote it. because he's predicting what is happening right now.
No, he's not predicting
Did
anything
he?
that's happening right now.
He's predicting what is happening right now.
No, nobody has predicted anything
Can
that's
you
happening right
predict?
now.
Can you predict what's going to happen in 5 years' time? Right now,
Yes,
can you
yes.
do that?
Yeah, I can.
Wow,
I can tell you. You
wow.
want me? You want
Then
me to tell you want me to tell you what's going to happen in 5 years' time?
yeah, tell me.
The sun is going to rise and it's going to set. Exactly 5 years from now, it will be nighttime. Sheri Baba Shekeri. Santolo Makankala. The stars will be in the sky.
Come on,
Ooh, parampatololo.
come on,
Somewhere on the
come
earth,
on.
there will be the moon. Bro,
You
you told me to
you
predict what
giving
will
us
happen if
you
bro, you told me
you
to
are giving
predict.
us the obvious. You're
Bro,
giving us the obvious.
that's what I'm saying to you. If you read the Bible, anything that you think is a
The
prediction
Bible.
in the Bible is either obvious or it's made up. And there is nothing in the Bible that they made up that is actually happening. The only things in the Bible that's happening is what is already obvious. And you can find that in any book that you read. In any book that you read. Tell me something in the
Listen, man.
Bible. Tell me something in the Bible that only the Bible says that is happening today. Give me an example.
All right. One example, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bible which I read, which is Al Quran, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there was a prediction where it says, a child will bear a child, right?
Okay.
People will be walking barefooted. Is it not happening?
You don't think that people in Africa
Where
were walking barefoot? Hold on. You don't think that people in Africa were
where
walking barefooted?
where
Hold on, bro. You don't think that people were walking barefooted
where
in Africa
where
1,000 years
our
ago?
prophet? I'm still going. Where our
Bro,
prophet predicted about a place where there is desert, there will be competition there. Competition on
bro,
building buildings.
that's the obvious. There's competition about building buildings everywhere in the world. The Romans were already building buildings. Let me tell you something. By the time that
That's what I'm
Muhammad,
saying.
no, hold up.
He predicted it.
Listen. He predicted the obvious. The Roman Empire was conquering, and the Romans were notorious. The Greeks, they used to build big temples. They were already building big buildings. One of the great wonders of the earth are the flying gardens of Babylon. The Babylonians used to build big buildings. Everywhere you go in China, they had big buildings. Of course, eventually it was going to get to the desert. As long as technology increases and human beings improve, you will have big buildings anywhere. If I read
So
the
you
book,
agree that he predicted right?
the obvious, just like the moon
No,
will shine and the star will come. That's obvious. That's obvious. Muhammad was creating a religion that was going to impact the entire area. Of course, they were going to grow economically, they were going to grow financially, they were going to grow politically. Of course, they're going to start building buildings just like the Romans. So that's not really a prediction. He was just telling you that, look, you see our religion right now? Our religion is not yet popular like the Christians, but one day we're going to be so popular like the Christians, we'll be building big buildings, even here in the desert. That's very obvious, bro. That's not a prediction. That's obvious. Just like the sun will rise tomorrow and the moon will also be in the sky. That's obvious, bro. You see, you like to be impressed by little simple things that you don't like to think. But when I say the same thing to you, you say that's obvious. That's obvious. It is very obvious that in the desert in Saudi Arabia there will be tall buildings. Listen, bro, go to my village in Africa right now. 200 years from now there will be tall buildings there. I'm predicting it. 200 years from now, go to my village in Batibo, in Batibo right now, in the northwest region of Cameroon. 200 years from now, in fact, 1,000 years from now, there will be tall buildings, and human beings will be competing on tall buildings. You let me know if my prophecy is right, okay? Bro, it's the obvious. Technology is spreading.
Tell me something. Does Satan exist or what?
No, there's no Satan.
There's no Satan.
No.
So we just do whatever we want to do in this world, eh?
When you got up this morning and you went and took a shit, did somebody tell you not to do it? You can do what you want. When you and your wife